On this week's episode of the podcast, we find out how many pickled pig's feet Lance can eat in under 5 seconds.
Welcome to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream.
It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're all locked into the Absolute Geek Podcast, the best damn podcast in all of the land. My name is Matt.
My name is Lance.
And I'm JP.
Jip.
Hey,
That's Jip.
Jip.
What is going on, gentlemen?
Nothing much, man. I was messing with, I put our Instagram tags under our names there. Do you guys see that?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Fancy.
Do I click it and I go to Instagram or something?
No, I'm not that fancy. Come on, man. What do I look like?
You click
Elon?
it, and it takes you to a secret website where there's a picture of Lance just doing the Costanza.
It's my variation of Two Girls, One Cup. That's where it
Nice.
takes you.
That's a great show.
My rendition. It's like karaoke, but for porn. Shit porn.
Shit porn.
Yikes.
Oh, geez. I think it's going to be that kind of night, gentlemen.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
just
that.
Or
one
night.
Argentinian boy in a brick oven pizza, and he's eating it shirtless, just covered in butter sauce. That's the picture.
Have you seen that reminds me, have you seen that Tom Segura commercial for his tour like a couple years ago where he's making fun of Bert Kreischer? And he got like some 600-pound dude and put Bert Kreischer's face on it, like a, what do they call that? Deep fake. And he's eating like a bucket of chicken wings, and he's got grease come down his shirt and shit. JP, you know Tom Segura. Please tell me.
I'm thinking he's in a band.
No, he's a comedian.
No, he's a comedian. He's got a funny podcast with Bert Kreischer called Two Bears, One Cave.
You know who Bert Kreischer is?
I know neither one of
The
those.
machine.
The
I don't know who the machine is.
You
Only
are the
comedian.
machine.
I know one comedian. It's Brian Regan.
Oh yeah.
Well, then you need to. Oh, Lance's got a visitor.
Can you get the fuck out of here?
You need some Alpha Brain,
Oh, hey, what? Why the fuck aren't they our sponsor?
right? Alpha Brain.
I don't have that. I have Beta Brain.
Well-
I have Beta Brain.
Do you feel like that stuff works for you, Lance?
No, fuck, it doesn't.
No, it just makes me feel like
Unless
I got a
they
bunch
start
of
paying.
pressure in my
Unless they
head.
start paying me for it, then it'll work. So JP's been gypped. Jip's been gypped. He doesn't have the alpha brain.
I don't
Is
have
that a
Beta
politically
Brain.
correct term now? Gypped.
I think so. Not
Is it
japped,
not?
but
Is it
gypped.
not from the word gypsy?
Oh, that wouldn't offend anybody.
Gypsy's not PC anymore. Gypsy
When
is
did that
considered
happen?
a slur, like a year ago.
And then
Nah.
Yeah, gypsy is now a slur.
we have jitneys that drive us around where I'm at. Do you guys have that?
Jitneys?
Jitneys. That's cab drivers.
No,
Yeah, we-
we'll be lucky if we see
Wah
a cab.
wah wee wah.
We're lucky if we see a cab. See, we have driverless cars out here. Do you guys have those?
Yeah, when people jump out of them, that's driverless. We don't.
Oh
have
no, they're everywhere, dude. If you're in Phoenix, they're everywhere.
really.
Some car will drive past you with nobody inside.
It's fucking iRobot and shit. Holy crap.
The
Oh, man.
machines.
They're gonna take over. It's not a tumor.
Get to the chopper.
They don't have that kind of shit in Yinzer country.
We don't. We drive ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
We have more.
We
freaking
drive our
Amish.
pickup trucks with our camo hats, with our bush light cracked open.
And when we
in a
run out of
styrofoam
gas,
cup.
Yinling
when we run
drive.
out of the gas,
Oh,
we get the
Yinzer-
horses.
Yeah, there you go.
We have Amish all over the place. We don't have we have F-150s, but more Amish buggies than F-150s. So
Oh yeah, there's
We wear our Ram t-shirts and we go to the Kennywood.
dude.
we do go
we
to
are
Kennywood.
so
We like that there Kennywood.
We like Kenny's Woods.
in Arizona. We are so like we don't even understand what a cab is. They have the yellow cab company and they're all green. The cars are green. It says yellow cab company on the side.
Oxymoron. Jesus.
And no one once ever was like, oh, that's not right. They're
well,
not
we
all right.
We bought the wrong trucks or the wrong cabs. Oh well.
We got a sweet deal on green cars, but it costs too much to change our company name.
We can't
Paying
paint
a
them.
run on green paint.
Yeah, they're all green Priuses. I think there's like kind of a green energy.
Might be that
You
reason
think
they're
there.
green. People
Yeah.
think they're green.
But what are we talking about tonight, Matt?
Oh man, I just want to tell everyone real quick once we start the show. Go check out last night's episode of Absolute Game of Nerds. I think that was like their best episode ever.
What they
I
talk
think it
about?
was.
Come on,
Because I
Jip,
was on
tell
it.
me. Oh, is that why?
Matt was on.
Yeah.
It was going to be a Grail tale for the three of us because Matt just, like me, hate bought his Grail, and so
you
we
hate bought his Grail.
He
What
hate
is it?
bought his Grail. I hate bought my Grail. Back
know.
in
That mean
July.
you
I would call it
reluctantly
more
buy
like
something?
Emotional support grail. For
Yeah.
me.
We weren't in a
I bought it.
positive place when we bought them.
No,
so.
yeah, no. And I had instant remorse, buyer's remorse, but
Yep.
it's all
Same
good.
book, 6 months apart. So we were going to have an episode about Grail Tales, but Rohan and I got tagged by Lunch Money Comics to make a top 5 key video. So we did our top 5 last night. I did mine, Matt did his, and Rohan did his, and we did it live last night. So
Bro,
get that tag video out of the way, and we had fun.
why didn't you
So-
call the podcast Grail Tales? That's fucking
there already is
awesome.
one.
Oh, there is one?
There's a podcast called Spec Tales, and they do a Grail Tale every week.
Well, that's not as cool as Grail Tales.
Grail Tales would be cool. We could
You
call
can
it.
do a dun 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 dun.
You guys should listen. Spec Tales
Life
has a
is
cool
like
intro.
a
And it's pretty
hurricane.
cool. But yeah, Grail Tales would be a nice little nickname for that.
Here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, what's
It's the
it got?
best town.
Something race car airplanes.
I miss buggies and airplanes.
Is that a Green Day song?
No, that's DuckTales. What the fuck?
DuckTales.
What the
Who
fuck?
the fuck
You're
watched
not that
DuckTales?
old, dude. You're not
Yeah.
enough
I didn't
people
watch
that they
DuckTales.
rebooted it.
I didn't watch DuckTales.
Woo!
I was too busy getting some ass back then.
Oh my gosh, dude. What were you like?
Oh my
6?
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. How old are you, JP? You're only a few
When he
years
says
older than me.
ass, he means the donkey that his dad made him walk behind to hold the plow.
Where I live, the men are men and the sheep are scared. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And that's how we got COVID. Da-da-da.
No, what happens at deer camp stays at deer camp, right?
Damn right. That does not leak deer camp.
Mhm.
It's called deer camp.
The Yoop. The
Oh.
second week of deer camp, and all the guys are here.
I'm
Right.
only about 5 years older than you guys, so it's not by that
Yeah,
much.
I was gonna say DuckTales is like your era, dude. I'm pretty sure.
What is it?
I'm
Was
pretty
like
sure
the
it came out
mid-90s.
before. No, did it? No.
I did not watch DuckTales.
Quick Wikipedia look up
Ooh.
DuckTales.
One of our 4 listeners, has anyone seen DuckTales? when it came out?
1987. 1987. So I was 2 when that came out. So it's more your era than it is my era.
I was 15 when it came out.
No, you said you're only 4 years.
No, I was probably 10 when it came out.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
He had just discovered slapping the ham. He had better things to do than watch DuckTales.
Well, I was told that my uncle said if you do it more than 100 times, you'll go blind. So, like, by the end of the weekend, I was at 99, and I had to call my uncle, and I said, "Uncle, what's going to happen if I go over 100?" And he said, "Stop right now."
we were told that we would grow hair on our palms. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny. He could have.
Just like you were told, if you touch a toad, you get warts.
That's right.
If you touch your toe, you get warts.
If you touch a toad, you'll get
Oh,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
touch a toad. I said if you touch your toe. I'm like, so you don't wash your feet?
You don't
What?
worship.
You don't wash
wash
them
'em. No.
with some Worcester sauce.
Yep.
What's up, Maxie?
You were taught weird stuff. You don't wash your feet.
Oh, my wife
No.
gets upset because I'm always telling my kids, like, you're too close to the TV.
I was
fuck
told
outta
that
here.
That's not
you
a
don't-
thing. I'm like, well, it's been a thing for 20, 35 years that I've been
I was
told.
told you don't tug
fall
on
out.
Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger.
You don't spit into the wind?
Yeah.
I heard you don't pee into the wind.
And you don't mess around with Jim.
You don't mess with the wind at all. Just don't mess with the wind.
Anyways, tonight on the podcast, we're supposed to be talking about all kinds of stuff. A little bit of Titan stuff, a little bit of review of Mandalorian, Ted Lasso, a little Indiana Jones news, a little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles news. We're going to cover a little bit of everything tonight.
A lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, we're excited about it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yo, did John Wick 4 come out today?
It did. It came out
today. Motherfuck, JP.
I saw it last night.
I didn't know it was coming out this weekend. I just saw all three of them over on TBS or whatever it was.
Today. That's why we're not reviewing it on the podcast, because it came out today.
Oh, fuck. I got to see it tomorrow morning. But tomorrow is first day of fishing season, so I don't know if I can get there in the morning.
First day of fishing season?
Yeah, it's youth day tomorrow. I'll take the kids out. Fish.
Look at JP.
He's just youth fishing.
He's just an every dad.
Like, can't you just walk out on a frozen lake and drill a hole and fish?
I've done that before. The ice moves when you're on it. It's kind of fucking scary as hell.
JP's superhero name is Every Dad. He goes to fucking dance competitions.
You call me ED. Just call me ED.
He's ED. Oh man, I think that's how you don't become a dad.
Damn right.
He's ED, but not that ED.
Not that ED. Just slightly
ED. You're all weak, folks.
All
right. Well, now that we all know that JP has ED, let's get into a little bit of geek news.
Geek news.
Nice.
I think that needs to be.
There needs to be a period in between that. That's what she said. Gross.
That's what she said to me.
JP, have you even noticed I changed your name?
Oh, I just thank you. At least they rhyme. Damn you for getting
he's all chuckling over here.
ED. Ed. One thing I'm Ed. Ed the head.
There you go, buddy. I changed it back.
Oh
man. JP has ED. Oh man. What the fuck is wrong with us? It's on the ticker.
So
it happens whenever you get old. I tell you that right now. When you're 5 years older, you'll see the same thing I'm seeing. Nothing.
We have a shirt, JP, on the website that has like all of our like sayings. Mm-hmm. I'm honestly thinking JP has ED needs to go on that shirt.
I think
it's like the logo, like it's like a word art thing.
I like it.
Yeah, JP has ED needs to go on there. There's Pizza Hut has a brick oven pizza is on there.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
There's Batman's Root, I think, is on there or something.
It's wrong. Long there's room for JP has ED. I like
JP, nothing but the tip, Max says.
Oh man.
What the fuck is wrong with us? It's Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, are you giving a sneak peek there, Matthew?
Well, you loaded the slideshow.
Oh, was it backwards?
At the end.
Oops. Look at that beautiful picture that Matt made.
All right, geek news. We're going to start off with Titans.
It's Titans.
Titans released a new concept art for season 4, part 1. Actually, it'd be part 2.
Yeah,
because
season
it's the
4.
second half of the season, offering fans a unique behind-the-scenes look at early designs for Tim Drake's Robin costume. Shared on the official Titans Twitter account, the post featured I can't even pronounce his last name. Leguizamo, Tim Drake as Robin beside the final concept art for the new Robin suit. Additional images showcased the hand-created character engineering had its finalized certain aspects of the new Robin suit, like utility belt and textures and breastplates. The first look at whatever suit as Robin was released alongside the Titans season 4 part 2 trailer.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks very much like the
Isn't the same suit that the same suit that Jason Todd wore? Pretty much.
No, the cape is different.
Is the cape different?
Mm-hmm.
But like for the most part, it's
too.
the same, right? Oh,
but I mean, most of the Robin costumes were all identical.
When I saw this, I thought like it was a cross between Chris O'Donnell and Jason Todd.
I mean, Damian Wayne kind of has that cape too. Damian Wayne has the hood on his. Instead of a cowl, he's got a hood. But
I like this kid as Tim Drake, though. It's a shame that the show's ending.
Yeah, well, that's James Gunn's
Just on
DC
season
for
2.
you.
I just don't understand why this can't. Oh, did you? I just don't understand why this can't be an Elseworlds thing. Like
just
the other shit.
And I mean, it's sad because it's one of their better things they're putting out, along with Doom Patrol. But all good things must come to an end, right?
Doom Patrol, you got to admit though, like the first season was great, and then it just kind of tapered off a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't watched Doom Patrol in 2 seasons. Like I lost all interest.
The first season was phenomenal.
Kind of like
love that first season.
The Flash, I lost all interest in that, even though it's the last season. I tried to watch one episode of the first episode of the new season. I was like, God, this show sucks. I was like, how did I even make? And now they're like I don't understand. They brought in Red Death, which is a character from, from Dark Knight's Metal, and so it's not even really a Flash villain. He's a Elseworlds version of Batman as the Flash. So I don't understand why he's in this show, but whatever. Because
it kind of looked like
they've already ran through the Flash's rogues gallery and killed everybody off.
Have you seen the McFarlane toys for the Flash movie? There's one that kind of looks like that.
Yeah, it's a different Flash. It's different.
I don't like it. One suit, the main one that they were showing. I don't like it.
What, for the Flash?
Yeah, the weird face. Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about?
No,
I didn't see those yet.
Figures, and there's one where his face looks weird. Of course, I can't find it now.
On that note.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
Here, share screen.
Oh, you can
present. Share screen.
Oh my God, share your screen.
It's this one right here.
Oh,
but you can tell it's an old Batman suit. So we saw this in the trailer, but his face is fucking weird, dude.
But isn't he was supposed to be given that costume from
Bruce?
For Bruce, but the Keaton version, right?
Yeah, you can tell that's the Keaton logo right there. The circular part.
Oh yeah, it's right over top of the okay, I see it.
Yeah, he spray paints it. McFarlane toys McFarlane toys are typically like known to be like really good toys, and like some of this just kind of sucks.
I haven't heard much about this movie recently.
Oh, that's Flash.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're just talking about the toys right now. Like, obviously, like this is just the toys, but McFarlane kind of let me down with these ones. But the way JP was talking about it was like they were like the most amazing toys ever, and I think they just kind of shitty.
Like anything McFarlane touches is great.
This is different McFarlane, dude.
It's the same.
No, it's the same. It's Todd. It's the same McFarlane.
No, but he doesn't create the toys. It's just his name on it, right?
He draws them.
It's just a company that
McFarlane Toys is
Todd McFarlane.
Is Todd McFarlane?
Yes.
Do you know?
You live in Arizona.
Do you know how many of these
you live in
toys
Todd
I
country?
Have, and I didn't know that.
You're gone.
I think you have BD, brain damage.
McFarlane is a popular name. I just never put 2 and 2 because they make.
He uses the Spawn logo pretty much is on the toys.
I'm ashamed to be in a podcast with you, Lance.
And this is coming from a guy who doesn't even read comics. You have at least read a comic in the last 3 years.
3 months is more than I read.
They make them right here in Arizona.
Good night.
I think
What the fuck? I
McFarlane
never
drove
knew
right
that.
past your house and waved to you.
And look at that. The logo is a Spawn logo. I never noticed that.
Jesus Christ.
I've given this guy a lot of my money and not realized it.
He bought his last house.
They don't make the Marvel Legends are Hasbro, right?
Yes, and that's not a real name of anybody, just so you know.
It might be. It might be someone's last name. Why can't Hasbro be a last name?
Because I think it's a combination of names. So
one
Toys
better.
is-
It's two people's last name.
exactly, but
So you're double dumb.
Oh, you are.
Double your pleasure. Oh, we're dumb. We are dumb.
No, I just think it's you.
Yeah, there's lots of people. I mean, Seth MacFarlane, Todd McFarlane Toys. I thought there were three different people.
An abbreviation from Hasenfeld Brothers, who are the ones that started the toy company.
Yeah, but they make the Marvel toys, right?
They make the Marvel.
And Kenner makes the Star Wars.
Kenner is Hasbro.
They get bought out or bought by them.
Hasbro owns Kenner, Milton Bradley, the Monopoly one. Who makes the Monopoly one? Parker Brothers. Yeah.
And who else does the Hasbro, Kenner, and who's the other one?
Mattel.
Damn, you don't even get the respect
Mattel,
from my
there you go.
wife in the chat.
Mattel's not Hasbro. Mattel.
She had to text me to be like, Lance is interesting tonight.
Who said that?
My wife, she won't even like message in the chat. She had to text me.
Oh, she doesn't want me to know that she secretly likes me.
I don't know.
She just wants our relationship to be.
She just
I make fun
texted
of
me
Lance.
back saying thanks for calling me out.
Does Hasbro make those really good Ghostbusters toys?
I think McFarlane does.
That'd be Todd McFarlane.
Todd, not Seth. Or Jimmy McFarlane.
Well, my point before you guys started fucking tearing my ass open here was
You need a tampon.
No, it's already gaping open.
You need a tampon.
normally McFarlane makes really good looking toys, and I don't think those toys look really good.
Yeah, he shit the bed.
He doesn't make them though. It's his name on it.
He helps.
He
design
has his
them.
own sweatshop. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he designs them. He's a
He designs every single one.
If you ever watch like his Facebook like stuff, he's very involved in like the design
draws
of the
all of
figures and making sure that the figures are accurate and they come with accurate stuff. And
Well, he shit the bed on these ones.
They're anatomically correct.
yeah, his Spawn is like got a just like 9-inch cock.
It's a massive dong.
Yeah.
Speaking of dongs, no one warned me how many wangs would be in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Just so you, thanks for that one, everybody. You told me to watch that show. I haven't seen that many wangs in one place.
There's a lot of wangs in that movie.
Yes, when one dude gets beat with dildos. I was watching with my kid.
Oh,
and I'm like,
you're
what the
upset
fuck?
about plastic wangs?
Yes, the movie was fucked up. The butt plugs. Oh my god, I did not expect any of that shit. Holy fuck! I'm watching it with my kid. Thank God
He's over here telling us about how Amish people procreate with outsiders, and he's all worried about some butt plugs and some rubber wangs.
They never brought those in. The Amish don't bring in butt plugs or dildos.
No, they just put their
the
women in burlap sacks. That's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, everything's covered. I did not expect that. I thought that was a good movie.
Excuse
That
me,
was
madam.
totally
Will
fucked
you
up.
procreate with me?
Pardon me.
I would like you
Bend
to
over.
take you to my fornicating shed.
I built myself.
We'll set the mood with some wheatgrass.
Listen to my horse chomp on his grass. Look at his horse cock.
His horse. Oh gosh.
Moving on, Lucasfilms has reportedly pulled the plug on its planned Indiana Jones series for
Say
Disney
butt
Plus
plug or plug.
at the direction of the Walt Disney Company itself. According to trusted industry insider Jeff Sneeder, of Above the Line and Hot Mike, Lucasfilm's Indiana Jones series is no longer moving forward at Disney Plus. What's more, Sneeder has received word from Disney, has told Lucasfilms to focus on its Star Wars projects for the time being. This would not only explain the axing of the Indiana Jones show, but also the so-called cancellation of Lucasfilm's Disney Plus series Willow after a single season.
Thanks, Max.
We don't need any more Indiana Jones. We don't even need the new Indiana Jones movie that's coming out.
If it's better than the last one, sign me up. But my faith,
dude, they have to do most of it.
Tells me it's not going to be.
Ford is so old.
Just don't do the fucking alien thing again. Jeez, that last movie
He's somehow still fighting Nazis. It's 2023. He's still fighting Nazis.
Well, to be fair,
like
the German, the All Quiet on the Western Front movie is all about so Nazis are they're still very interesting, I guess.
Yeah, at least it stayed true to its timeline, right? He never really
fight the Amish.
Yeah,
I don't understand why he's gonna fight Nazis still.
The Amish fight electronics every day.
I mean, Kanye West still has a top 10 record, so.
Did you guys see Everything's Quiet at the Western Front?
I haven't seen it yet, no. But I was watching Jimmy Kimmel segments, and Seth Rogen was on there.
Jimmy Kimmel watches you.
And Seth Rogen was on there, who was in the Fablemans, the Steven Spielberg movie, Fablemans. And he was saying it's kind of ironic that we created the most Jewish movie ever, and we kept getting beat out by the most German movie ever at the Oscars. He's like, I think that's a hate crime. Oh, man.
I heard it's pretty brutal, that movie.
What, the All Quiet on the Western Front?
All Quiet on the Western Front, yeah.
From the trailer, I saw it looks beautiful, so I'm going to have to give it a watch.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, and someone said it was brutal. Like they couldn't sleep at night. Or they couldn't sleep after watching it or something like that.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so it's got me intrigued.
What was the movie that came out a couple years ago that was all one shot, Matt? That was that war movie. 1912.
1917.
Yeah. 1917. That movie was fucking awesome, dude. What's 1912? Where did I get that from?
I don't know. You were just like, oh, it's an old
1812 was a war, but 1914 and 1917 was World War I.
It's a
you guys just find stupid shit to make fun of me. 5 years off, you fuckers.
It's not finding stupid shit. It's literally
World War
spewing
II
out of your mouth.
1600s.
You were literally spewing shit out of your mouth tonight.
Because that makes interesting radio, you fucks.
Todd McFarlane and the McFarlane toys are not the same. They're very different.
Seth MacFarlane toys.
Hey, I did not say it as fucking adamantly as that. It wasn't like, I'm the fucking knowledge on this shit, and you guys all fucking, sit in the corner.
That's how I felt.
Have an article to fucking research it on or something.
No, and I took your guys' word for it.
Thank you. You should.
Yeah, I fucking
everything we say, you should take our word for it.
No.
Maybe
Green Day's not the best band ever.
Favorite movie, Lance Titanic, and that's why you're thinking 1912 because that's when the Titanic sank.
Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot that. Right.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Titanic.
But was 1917 a brutal? Was that a brutal movie?
Hold on. Which was brutal?
Was that a brutal movie?
1917 is beautiful. That movie is gorgeous.
Brutal. I'm talking the opening, the scene in RoboCop when he gets caught by the guy from the 70s show and he blows off his hand and then they shoot him up. That's a brutal scene. It sounds as though that movie All Quiet on the Western Front is brutal like that or worse. So I was curious if 1917 is like that.
1917. Hey, listen, you dumb shit. It's 1917.
I say that? The 1912 movie.
You said 1817.
Listen, you don't talk to JP like that. He's got a medical condition, all right?
Hey, I'm just returning the favor.
Hey Lance, maybe if you took your Alpha Brain before we had the podcast, you would know that
I took this
that
and an Adderall, and I'm still fucking stupid, guys.
That Seth MacFarlane is not the
Still
creator of
fucking
McFarlane
stupid.
Toys. It's Todd.
I'm still fucking stupid. Alpha Brain and Adderall. I took a 8-ball, a speedball of Alpha Brain
Coke?
and Adderall. No, what do they call it when they fucking? I don't know, fucking dude. I didn't do drugs. Smoked pot. That's it.
Whoa.
I think I am able to fix my condition.
All I remember, Max is saying 1917 isn't super. The cure for ED.
Woo!
Red lightsaber. Red rocket. Max says 1917 isn't a brutal movie. I couldn't remember, honestly, but I do remember there's an awesome plane scene.
Breaking news.
But that's a great movie, dude. You should watch it. I'm not.
I got that in my list of when I'm done reading comics, I'm gonna watch that movie.
So he was never gonna watch it because he's never gonna read a comic. He's never gonna finish a comic.
If I'm not mistaken, Matt, that movie's all one shot, isn't it? Like one.
I don't know. I've never
shot.
seen it.
I've never seen it.
Yes, Save It Private Ryan. That is brutal. That opening of Private Ryan. Yep.
Have you seen Hacksaw Ridge?
I like the opening to Saving Ryan's Privates.
That was a good one.
That's a brutal opening.
And we're
I
full
like
circle.
The Last Girl Scout. Anyone seen that one?
The Last Girl Scout.
That sounds like something would get you landed in jail, JP.
It was the name of the movie in the back section of Starflix. So I didn't make it, but
you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, JP? Mm-mm. Hacksaw Ridge is
I saw
an awesome movie.
Andrew Garfield movie with Private Pal.
Private Pal?
Is this a jelly donut, pal?
Oh, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah,
that's a fucking cool movie too.
The movie that's only good for like the first 20-30 minutes of it, and then you turn it off.
That has Kingpin in it, doesn't it?
Once they actually go to Vietnam, you're like, all right, I'm done.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Stop watching it. My buddy could recite the entire first half of that movie verbatim. It was hilarious.
That Stanley Kubrick?
Yep.
Yeah. Clockwork Orange.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Lance needs a better camera angle. I need to turn the contrast down on my TV because of the glare.
Fuck you. I normally wear a hat. So I don't have one now. Oh well.
That's why I wear a hat.
Are you bald, JP? I don't even know.
I will not say.
JP's got horns.
I can't have ED and be bald, and that would be like the worst thing in the world. I might as well be blind and in a wheelchair.
It's a secret. But yeah, back to Indiana Jones.
Who the fuck?
Speaking of old people.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's gonna really hinge on but part of me is like, God damn it, why focus on more Star Wars? Do we really need more Star Wars? Like, they are tanking Star Wars hard right now.
I don't think they're doing more Star Wars. I think they're just
Star Wars tanking?
Focusing on making
what
they
we'll talk about
better.
it when we get to our Mandalorian review.
Okay, as I just watched it. So,
do you think they're focusing on what they are already coming? Because they've canceled a ton of Star Wars projects. Do you think they're just focusing on what they have to make it better?
I think at this point they don't even know what they're doing.
So we used to make fun before George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. We used to make fun of because his idea was the midichlorians or something like that. That he was going to focus. What is it called?
Midichlorians. Yeah.
But then somebody was actually like breaking down like what the whole trilogy would have been. And dude, it sounded way more fucking awesome. There's a TikTok video on it than what Disney did. And I'm trying to figure out why they didn't just go for that. It was like something to do with like Han Solo and Leia have kids and Luke also has a kid.
Yeah, that was the stories
extended universe.
No, that was the movies that came out in the 90s with Grand Admiral Thrawn. Han Solo and Leia had twins, and Luke was training them to be Jedi. And that's where his wife, Mara Jane, came from that. I forget the name of those books, but it was called like...
Yeah, it was like the Empire. Extended universe, the books.
But they were never canon until now. Right, yeah.
Well, they're not technically
they're not canon now.
Right. some of them they're taking bits and pieces from them, but yeah.
But I don't think they were even extended universe. I guess you can call. Yeah, you're right. I guess you would call it extended universe for anything not. But is that?
No, extended universe, I would think, would be in the same universe, just extended stories. Like DC
Well, like
extended
the Joker
universe.
story, right? But that's canon, whereas this was never considered canon.
Yeah,
and
so I
I'd
wouldn't
always
use
hoped
the
that they
word
would-
extended.
Yeah,
Would
it's
you use-
extended universe.
it's not-
Extended would mean part of. It's an extension.
Right.
It's
It's part
they
of.
call it legends.
Legends.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was hopeful they would. We're going to make those 7, 8, 9, not the ones they made. That'd have been really cool to have those ones made. So now they're slowly with Ahsoka, that series. I think Admiral Thrawn, the blue guy, will be in the upcoming Ahsoka movies or Disney Plus show. You'll probably see Mara Jade in there. I think that will be the direction that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau will take things going forward, because 7, 8, and 9 were just horrible, almost not as bad as 1, 2, and 3. So he just fucked up his own universe. So it's kind of like watching The Matrix and then watching Matrix Revolutions and what was the second one called? Revolutions, and the third one, what was it called?
Anna, you're
Matrix.
live on the air.
What was it called? Fuck.
Re-
I can't remember it, but
Revolutions and Resurrection or something.
Erection? I don't know. Was it called that?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I think we've hit our quota for dick jokes tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah, we have 9 viewers now, so we cannot do any more of those jokes. But whatever that, the second and third Matrix movies they were bad. The first one was great, but they didn't live up. The second and third one,
Yeah, it was the Matrix Reloaded, and
Reloaded. There you go. Reloaded and Revolutions.
yeah, or no, it was Revelations. Wasn't
I thought it was
Revelations?
No,
It was
Revolution.
I can't remember.
Either way, they sucked. Not anywhere near as good as the original, which was what Star Wars original. Nothing since then has been as good until The Mandalorian came out, in my opinion. So we'll see. I think there's a lot Star Wars that can be done if it's done right, and I believe they have the right people there, and we'll see. So we can get to that later on. Seven, 8, 9.
Did you kill Lance?
I guess so.
Did Lance? I guess Lance.
He had to get that something for his head, make it shinier.
Sticks. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Willow was about as pleasurable to watch as puppy crushing. The quality of what is coming out is trash. Yeah, I actually didn't mind Willow for the first couple episodes, and then I lost interest, and then I guess I didn't really like it subconsciously, because every time I think about watching it, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm gonna go do something else.
Did you start watching Willow?
I did. I watched for the first 3 episodes. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Good.
First,
I
else.
I did enjoy the first one back in the day, but
I don't know about that, Joe's doing. I would say Willow had a plot. I don't know how you don't think Willow had a plot. Maybe it had no substance, but it had a plot. I'm gonna go save this girl that I saved back in the 80s.
30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago, and teach her to become a grand wizard. I want to move into this next story, but Lance just disappeared. Clown shoes Lance. This is why I can't take him anywhere. I'm moving on anyways. Last Ronin, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles AAA video game. By the way, Lance didn't know what AAA video game was either. Based on IDW's best-selling Last Ronin comic series is in the works, according to Polygon.com. It sounds like the project is only in the very early stages, as a developer has yet to be announced. The game is expected to be significantly darker and more adult-oriented than any previous TMNT title. And it has already been, it was announced by the company that owns the rights to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They said it's going to be a God of War-like game. So if you're a fan of the current God of War, it's going to be hopefully a cinematic masterpiece of epic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles proportions. And we didn't really get to touch on it because we were on our hiatus when I was actually on my honeymoon when the trailer for the Seth Rogen we dropped. Have you seen the trailer for the Seth Rogen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yet?
I've not. Isn't he in the Mario Brothers movie or Super Mario's?
Yeah, he's Donkey Kong in the Mario Brothers movie.
And he's in the Teenage Mutant Ninja
He's not in it. He wrote and produced the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And he went younger with them. So they're younger. They're early teens. They're tweens. Early teens. And this, so they went younger.
You're talking about the Seth Rogen movie?
Yes.
I still am shocked that this has lasted as long as it did, TMNT.
It's massive.
It's
only getting like, and the last Ronin kind of gave it the shot in the arm that it needs. And then, like, to me, this franchise is at a crossroads in a good way because I really think like your fan base, you have your older fan base, and now you have your younger fan base based on the cartoons that are out there, the rise of the Teenage Mutant Turtles and everything that's
Which is
going on.
awful.
Plus, still fans of the comic books. Like I still read and collect the comics today. I
collect them. I don't read them.
I would love to see like the last Ronin stuff be more adult themed, giving it, you know, paying homage to the more adult fans that have been the fans since the 80s when this started, and keep the little kid stuff separate. I would love for them to do a last Ronin live action movie in the same Jim Henson style. I want the same Michelangelo as you got in the 90s movie.
That's my biggest thing with this, because this is one of my favorite franchises, which Matt and I have talked a lot about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for years. It's one of my favorite franchises. The problem is that who Nickelodeon or the heads that own it think it's just for kids. And it wasn't until the last Ronin came out that they realized there's an actual like adult audience that craves good content. Like Michael Bay's things were just dumb storytelling. Like it was too easy to follow. They filled it with gimmicks and just things to capture kids' attention. But if you look at that first Ninja Turtles movie, that wasn't a kids movie. JP, you've seen it, right? The first Ninja Turtles movie?
Yeah, I saw it.
It deals with some very adult themes.
I couldn't remember what the themes were, but I mean,
you should give it a watch again. It's largely considered one of the best superhero, like comic book related movies ever made.
I just remember the Pizza Hut commercial that played before it. I played right.
I was never into them as much as anybody else. I enjoyed playing the game on Nintendo, but I watched the video. I watched the cartoon, whatnot. But I
see, and the first movie was less like the cartoon and more like the original comic books. Wouldn't you say, Matt? It wasn't all slap. Like they had some elements of the cartoon with the pizza and the cowabunga and stuff, but it was more edgy than the cartoon that was out around the same time. Because I want to say that movie came out in 91 and the cartoon ended around that same time, if not a year earlier or something like that, right? Thanks, Solo.
What? I like Totals.
I like Totals.
I like Totals.
When did that show
I
end?
like turtles.
Very nice. Oh man, that kid looked like my cousin.
Yeah, 90 was the first one, 91 was the second, and 93 was the third.
So the original cartoon ended in 90. So that movie came out around the same time that the cartoon was ending. And then they came out with the later cartoon that was kind of anime that was a little bit more adult.
Well, the final episode of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon was 1996. November 2nd, 96.
I'm seeing syndication 87 to 90.
No.
190.
The same site you found the McFarlane name.
Yeah, final episode date, November 2nd, 1996.
How many seasons was there of this? I didn't realize there were so many seasons.
I don't think I watched
started in 87.
I don't know
10
what cartoons
seasons
I watched, but I didn't watch any of this shit. Fuck.
So what were you into Transformers?
I watched G.I. Joe and Transformers.
So why is Ninja Turtles dumb but Transformers isn't?
I thought they were like, I like Fraggle Rock. So if you think of something stupid and cheesy, that
Fraggle
was
Rock.
That was
I love
cheesy,
Fraggle
right?
Rock.
And you got these ninjas who, I mean, I didn't have a problem. I'm not saying I had a problem with them. I just don't see why it caught on. Transformers did, but they had, it was kind of like the toys came out first, then the cartoon, from what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong on the timeline, but the movie, when Optimus Prime died in the Transformers movie, that was like pivotal to kids my age at the time. And TMNT just seemed like a stupid cartoon idea, that has caught on for much longer than, G.I. Joe's popular, but TMNT seems like it's even stronger than it was back then. And I don't get it. But
I feel
fine.
like
it's fine.
I feel like Ninja Turtles went through like a decade where it was just not as relevant. It's starting to come back. I just saw somebody again.
Elite Comics had a every day they were having a sale, different vendors, and someone bought, like, I don't know what it was, a Raw book, $8,000.
Probably the first issue, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
$8,000 for a Raw or something. I was like, holy shit! Like, they posted it, and we were going over like $50 books, and all of a sudden they pull this one out, and they were like trying to get rid of this for like $8,000 or something, and this somebody, like, texted back and forth and bought it as we were on the live show. But I was like, holy crap, $8,000 for a Raw book for Turtles. Like, it wasn't AF-15, it wasn't, Batman, the first Joker. It was TMNT. It was hard to believe that book would command that kind of money. And Rohan just sent me, not earlier today, he sent me a video from a show that's coming out on Vice TV about a guy named Dinesh, I think. And
yeah, I know Dinesh.
Right. So he has that first issue that's the cover is written on, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And he's like $300,000 for that first comic book of them. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, that kind of money for that book. It's just,
they're considered an iconic. And didn't Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just pulling shit out of bits and pieces that I've heard.
You're wrong. I'll jump to this shit.
Didn't they make Ninja Turtles because they were huge fans of Daredevil?
I mean, yes, Frank Miller's Daredevil there's a lot of undertones.
Because that's why they have the foot, and in Daredevil they have the hand.
There's a lot of similarities between Daredevil and TMNT.
Isn't Frank Miller doing that? Did he do Last Ronin, or who did that?
No, it was Kevin Eastman, the original. It was the original team of TMNT, Eastman and Laird.
But Frank Miller did a Ronin book, right? I think Frank Miller did a Ronin book, and I wonder if this is some homage to that.
Or Ronin, like the Hawkeye Ronin?
No, like Ronin, like the only samurai left. Ronin.
Yeah.
Right, whatever that means. The last samurai, or the samurai that works for somebody, something like that.
He's like the last samurai of his clan, yes.
But what's funny is so this was the first time that they've worked together since those original books, right? And this thing just
huge falling out.
Yeah, this thing took off, and now come to find out that they're coming out with the last Ronin sequel, but one of them's not involved again, right?
Yeah, Laird is not involved again.
So they fucking still don't learn from their shit. Like, they've had the most success that we've had in a decade and a half, 2 decades with this book, and then they fucking go their separate ways again. It's things like that.
Frank Miller has a series called Ronin.
They must fucking hate each other. And I think that was a third printing of the TMNT one. It wasn't a first printing.
Yeah, the third printings still go for a lot of money.
Right.
There's only one of the books that Dinesh has is the very first original used to pitch it to Marvel, DC, etc., and the first test to print the TMNT book. That's why it's worth so much.
Oh, was it?
That's like having the Frank Miller from Dark Knight from this run, that original artwork just sold for $2 million. Do
you think Marvel's like killing themselves that they didn't buy this?
No. Honestly, I think it was good that it came out the way it did.
I'm just saying, of all the studios to own it, I can't stand that Nickelodeon has it.
The most kid network.
Well, they keep fucking it up and fucking it up. Hopefully this new one, because they signed a deal with Netflix, I guess, and Seth Rogen made this new movie. I think he had full autonomy to make it. So it's like the movie he wanted to see. So I'm hoping it's not Nickelodeonized or whatever. Because Michael Bay's movies were fucking hot garbage.
Well, so were the Transformers movies, though.
Bumblebee was fucking awesome.
He had nothing to do with Bumblebee.
He had nothing to do with it.
The ones I saw, they were good, but they were you couldn't make out the Transformer because there was so much. The CGI just made it very hard to like clearly see them.
Yeah, the first two were really good, and then it just is all downhill after that.
I mean, they were good storylines. I thought, what's his name?
Sam Witwicky.
Witwicky was good in that one, and Megan Fox was good, but you just had a hard time seeing the Transformers because he put so much detail that they weren't just like the cartoons where they were just. There was so much metal detail. I mean, it was well done, but it wasn't. I just had a hard time following them, and I'm not like I'm blind.
My problem with Michael Bay is he's notorious for being kind of lazy, and he reuses scenes that he's filmed for other movies. Like there's a whole scene on a freeway in one of those Transformers movies that's shot for shot. He's shot for shot. It's the same scene that they use for like Bad Boys or something.
It's a Transformer.
And he just changed the CGI to make it, instead of cars from Bad Boys or something, made them Transformers. It's same scene. And he's done it numerous times. There's scenes from, what's it called? Pain and Gain that are also in Transformers where he just changes the CGI, but the filming aspect of it is the same. And he doesn't even bother to refilm it. John Wick just came out, and we all go googly-eyed over John Wick because it kind of takes these awesome sequences and makes them fresh and original. Michael Bay just puts big explosions in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the last Bad Boys, I haven't seen it yet, but Matt sings its praises.
It's called Saving Money, Lance.
It's called lazy.
It's kind of like one of those industries that you don't save money because it doesn't make you money to save money.
I love Bad Boys for Life, but he has nothing to do with it. He appears.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make. That was the point of it. Would you say it's the best of that franchise?
No. I like all of them. Like, I think they're all equally.
You must like all the Fast and the Furious movies too.
I do like the Fast and the Furious movies.
I liked them until they went into space.
They're a guilty pleasure. I just love how big and dumb and over the top they are.
Man,
it's all about family, JP.
But see, they're less lazy than fucking Michael Bay movies.
Kyle says Armageddon is the best movie ever made.
That's because Ben Affleck's in that movie.
Yeah,
it's like
I don't know. I'm just not a Michael Bay fan. Not a Michael Bay fan at all. And it really pissed me off. And, Seth Rogen's doing the same shit in his movie. Why the fuck does Donatello need glasses? Why does Michelangelo have fucking braces? They're mutant turtles.
They're teenagers with attitude.
That doesn't mean they fix their teeth.
They're mutants. Like
mutants. I mean, it's part of growing up. That's what happens.
You're giant green monsters. Who gives a fuck what your teeth look like?
Doesn't mean they don't have pimples and bad teeth and bad breath and all that shit. Come on now.
I hate it. Like there was something just so clean and fresh about the original cartoon in that original movie, and then they tried it like the Michael Bay movie. Like they made Michelangelo fucking surfer dude, and he had like sunglasses and puka shell necklaces and just fucking puka stupid. Shell? They put like night vision goggles on Donatello, I think, at some point. Like he wears night vision goggles all the time in that movie. They're like big goggle things that he wears. It's just fucking stupid, dude. It's just nobody wants that.
Rohan said it was not third print. Maybe it was second print on that one. But either way, it was a lot of money for a book of about a bunch of teenagers with bad teeth and wearing night vision goggles. Right, Lance? Why would you pay that kind of money for that book?
I'm just saying there's...
You said it was raw?
I believe it was raw, but I don't know what print it was, but I was still shocked at the amount of money. But again, because I don't know. It's just I can't believe how much that damn book's worth, even a first print or what that, it's nostalgic, but it just seems like over the top to buy that. It's fun to watch, but like you said, Did
you see the cover of it or no?
Yeah, it was the same cover, that bluish gray cover with them on the top of the buildings and stuff. It was one of those prints. So
one of those prints.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, because the third print you can get for around $500 to $800 on eBay.
Maybe it was I don't know. I was just shocked at how much someone was willing to pay, because it was like they were in dollar books selling shit. And then all of a sudden they whip out this thing and go, here you go, $8,000. And then we're not going to go any lower than that. And it's like, well, we were just talking about like dollar books on this, whatnot elite auction. And all of a sudden it's, here's an $8,000 book.
Did you know they had a musical of the Ninja Turtles?
I probably have erased that from my memory.
I have no idea.
Now, what's that guy supposed to look like? Wolverine? Anime
manga never released outside of Japan. See, and this is where they start to fuck up. And then they had a little resurgence here.
I've seen...
And then they fuck up again.
Ish's store, I want to say, had 3 or 4 high-grade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first prints.
Raw.
Oh, graded.
Graded. For how much?
I don't know what he sold them for.
Somebody told me they're like 40, 50 grand. High grade. Maybe 9.8, I guess, would be the highest grade, but
Solo Wookiee's right. I mean, most people don't sell those. Yeah, so right now on eBay, there's a great CGC 7.5 first appearance, first print, $15,750.
Have you guys noticed that, so He-Man, Transformers, all those cartoons that were successful were made just to sell the toys? Like the toys were created before the cartoons were. Like He-Man is owned by Hasbro, I think, or something like that, or Mattel or something.
Mattel.
They made the toys and then made a cartoon to help sell the toys. Turtles, same way. They were making toys and then made the cartoon around the toys.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
I remember when Transformers came out and buying Optimus Prime at KB Toys or Toys R Us. Or I wish I'd have kept that.
Kyle said, yeah, we watched that show on Netflix too, Lance.
Which one?
The Toys That Made Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just reading this thing here.
Did
they talk about turtles on the Toys That Made Us?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sure did.
I remember that. This is awful. This is when they made the Venus, right?
Venus de Milo.
This is when Saban owned them. And they would do crossovers with the Power Rangers. This is actually a really good show right here. Did you watch this one, Matt?
Ish, I wish Ish was on so I could ask him what they sold those books for. He doesn't have internet. His internet's AIDS.
Didn't George W. Bush give everybody internet back when he was president years ago? And
apparently everybody but Ish.
They need to they have to redo the wiring in his whole house. And
can he get one of those Verizon 5G things in his house?
I don't know.
Don't you guys have that, or does the Amish from Pennsylvania have to horse and buggy it over to your house?
Dude, I remember this. They had a crossover of all the different turtles.
Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Forever.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It was produced by I want to say it was on like WB, or maybe it wasn't, because I just think it was like
For Kids Entertainment. I don't know what that is.
That was, they did a lot of stuff on like WB and stuff. I'm trying to see if I can find a first print high grade on eBay, but they don't have anything like
these ones. Got pretty popular.
High grade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1. Those are books that are sold at like Heritage. Those aren't books you sell on eBay or whatnot. Those are like Heritage sold books. And then you get to Rise.
See, there he is with the fucking goggles, dude.
But they made them different turtles.
Which I think is a great idea. Like, make them... Which I'm trying to figure out why 4 different breeds of turtles would be together in a sewer, but whatever. I mean, you can't.
I mean, I thought they were all supposed to be painter turtles. That's why they were all named after the Renaissance painters. But what do I fucking know?
One of them's not a painter, though, right?
Just a fat guy on the internet.
One of those guys isn't a painter, right?
Raphael's a snapping turtle.
No. Raphael, Michael, like the original names were those
painters. They were all Renaissance painters.
I thought one was a sculpture dude.
Well, yeah, well, Michelangelo was too, but he was also a painter.
But Renaissance they started artists. Adding these. They started like, I just think like Donatello's a nerd, so let's give him glasses. It's just a little on the nose for me. I don't know. I mean, all 3 of us are nerds. None of us wear glasses.
I'm a non-geek, non-nerd.
However you identify, buddy.
You're a goddamn liar, JP. That's what you are.
I lie about my ED. Why would I lie about being a nerd?
So we got one more headline, right, Matt?
So there's on eBay right now. There is a
Turtle Comics
8.5 second print for 2,500.
Here you go. 9.4 for 40K.
Yeah, Rohan just sent me that too, and I was looking for it. Let's see.
I wish I'd have remembered. I know that Elite sold it, and it was brokered on back and forth. I don't know how someone buys.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, 9.4 Team NT 9.4 white page is 40 grand. Buy it now.
Does white pages mean it's not colored?
White pages means that it's not stained up, like the pages haven't faded.
Yeah. But somebody was texting back and forth and spent $8,000 texting back and forth.
7.5 for 11,000. But like, if you want a 9.8, you're going Heritage.
I just can't believe that commands
I wish
that
I
kind
could
of money.
See what. Kyle, if you're still in the chat, what site or Sticks, if you're still in the chat, what site do you use to get all the info for your Time Warp stuff? Because I'd like to see what the recent sales on TMNT #1s have been.
Time Warp, Rocky Horror. What are we talking about? What's Time Warp?
It's a segment he does on our Saturday show.
It's called Time Warsh.
Time Warsh. Let's do the Time Warp again. Love that movie.
Not talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show.
All right, what's the next bit of geek news that we got?
No, it's not cover price solo. It's
Matt's done listening to me.
I'm listening to you. Hold on a second. You can change it too, buddy. You know that, right?
Well, I don't want to change it if you're still talking about it.
GPA. So
Back in the Game Comics, who's that? Are they new?
That's Rohan.
Oh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 sold the most is that the most recent one though?
Well, Rohan, if you check Instagram, see what Elite, if they had it marked that it sold, and you'll know which. It won't say how much, but it'll at least say which version sold.
A 9.8 for Turtles 1 sold for $245,000. In Amazing Fantasy 15, 9.6. This was in 2001. Sold for $3 million. Marvel Spotlight 598 sold for 264,000. Detective 149.6 sold for 456,000.
Holy shit!
So I mean, $245,000 is not a bad chunk of change for Turtles #1. You know.
Yeah, but it's not a 60-year-old comic, right? I mean, or 80-year-old comic. It's just ridiculous, that kind of money for it. My opinion.
Well, it also depends, like, how many of them were made.
That's what they say, but I mean, there's like, I have a Matrix comic that they said was destroyed. I'm sure there's a couple thousand of them, maybe more, but it isn't worth $240,000. It doesn't matter how rare it is. It just comes down to the rarity and the demand. Those two have to make it what it is.
It's a 38-year-old comic because it came out in May of 1984, so almost a 38-year-old comic.
No, that's
TMNT had a super low print run though too. Like I want to say it was like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was like 1,000. It was like a super low print run.
That's 39 years.
Yeah, but there's stuff that's even rarer than that. Yet. There's stuff that's
almost 39 years.
We have a Manu from 9.9 Newsstand. He has a 9.8 Ultimate Fallout 4 newsstand. There's probably, I don't know, 3 of them or something like that. Rohan would know. And, you know, that's not 400,000. I mean, I'm sure you'd hope it would be that, but I mean, that's, I mean, I just can't, I mean, and that's Miles Morales. That's a whole new character of Spider-Man that's, you know, supposed to take it to the future and all that. And it aligns with, you know, everybody now, I guess, or more diversified. So, I mean, like TMNT was.
So TMNT #1, the first print one was only 3,000.
Yeah, but you have rare books like that are, you don't find it in a 9.8. There's less than a handful of them, and they're not worth that kind of money. So rarity doesn't have anything to do with it. It just comes, demand and rarity both have to go hand in hand.
I think there's a nostalgia factor too. Like there's been a lot more, like Ninja Turtles has been adapted a lot more times.
3 copies, Ron says 3 copies, Ultimate Fallout 4 newsstand 9.8.
So it's even
but Miles I hate to say it, like Miles will be big, but Miles will never be Ninja Turtles big. He'll never be on that level. Well, never say never, but it's gonna be.
Sounds like fighting words.
I'm just saying.
No, I think you're right, but he you know, the diversification of Miles, I think, has changed the trajectory of Spider-Man for the future. That'll be that has long lasting effects. Not that Teenage Mutant Turtle doesn't.
He's still not the original Spider-Man. Like,
well, so why wouldn't the AF-15? Even though I don't know, this is why if you got money to spend and you want to buy.
No. I guess I'm confused on the point you're trying to make on the AF-15.
Because it's this older comic. It has more significance. It has nostalgia to many more people than just people of our age group. But again, if you got money you want to spend and you want to buy TMNT 1, by all means.
Well, the significance is more of the character is of Spider-Man and how he is like the most noted superhero.
Right.
Like, I guess I'm not sure where you're going with like the age thing.
Well, I'm saying it's 60-year-old book. It's, you know, there's the history of Stan
Who
Lee.
is it? What book is it?
Spider-Man Ultimate or Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man.
You guys just kept saying AF-15. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm just trying to follow. I'm not a comic collector. I don't know.
Get educated, Lance. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
So that book being as old as it is, 60 years, if not more, bringing Batman, Detective Comics, that's 80 years old, compared to TMNT. If you had $240,000, which one are you buying?
TMNT 1.
Hey, you know, like I said, if you got the money to spend and you want to buy that one, by all means.
But JP, this is why I like having you on the show though too, because like you're close enough in age with us that I think we have similar views, but TM
I like
and T, I
show
think means TMNT, I think means more to us than it does to you, right? And we've had these discussions about music and stuff before too. Like, I think I don't know how many copies of the Spider-Man comic were made.
Probably about 3 times as many
of Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
good copies, right? So like you're probably 3,000, 5,000, somewhere in that range. So a lot more. But I'm saying that it's back then it was hard to keep those nicer. Even in the 80s, it was the same thing, but not as. It was more that you would the paper. I don't know if the paper quality was worse, but it just seems like it's. I don't know.
But by your own admittance, there's many more of them than there are Ninja Turtle comics.
But again, I said it isn't just rarity; it's also demand. So they both have about the same rarity and demand. There's more demand for Spider-Man, less rarity, less demand for TMNT, meaning there's a niche group of people that like them and would spend that kind of money on that book, but there's less of them. So those two things, like you plot it on an axis curve, and that's where you get the price.
But I don't think that you could say TMNT has a niche audience.
There's probably more people that know who Spider-Man is than they know who the TMNT.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man is one of the 3 most recognizable comic book characters.
You know who would come out if someone who would come out and be like the biggest swinging dick of all?
Biggest wine
is if somebody out there was like, I have an AF-15 9.8 and gets it graded. There is no 9.8 AF or Amazing Fantasy 15 in the CGC census.
And if you find one, it's probably a Time Machine book because there's no way.
The only ones are restored. It's a purple label. There's no signature. There's no universal. There nothing. There's only there's 4 9.6s, 7 9.4s, 4 9.2s.
But a 9.6 is that's.
Yeah, it's still good. 9.6
right. That's like
good.
Damn near close to a 9.8.
It's considered, it's considered near mint. So, but you want that 9.8? That would be like.
Can you get a 9.8 TMNT?
Yeah.
Is there one? There is one, right? It's $240,000. Somebody said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But a 9.6 and AF-15 is got to be comparable to the 9.8 TMNT just because of the difference in the age, and to keep one pristine. That's like they say, a time machine book.
How much older it is, it deteriorates more.
The high sale for a 9.6 AF-15 or Amazing Fantasy 15, $2,300,000.
Oh, so they do sell more than a Ninja Turtles book.
Oh yeah, AF-15, absolutely.
So what JP? I guess I'm missing your point. I thought the whole point was the Ninja Turtle ones.
The 9.8 at $240,000. That's a lot of money for that book. Again, it's 9.8, but
you got to think like
that kind of money. I'd rather have it in AF-15 7.5 or 8 or whatever that
cultural significance, dude. Like,
but again, that is my opinion, and somebody else might prefer TMNT. To each his own. I'm just saying.
Like, Ninja Turtles had a whole period named after them. Turtle Mania was a thing that lasted,
and so
almost
did Madonna.
a decade.
Madonna had a whole period after her too. So,
but you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like Ninja Turtles was the dominant thing from the late 80s to mid 90s.
But
like
I'm saying I lived that. I was not
lived it.
I lived it. I loved it, lived it. It just wasn't my thing. I'm just saying, like, G.I. Joe was.
I understand, but it was enough of a thing for them to call it Turtle Mania.
So high sale 9.6 TMNT number 1, $54,000. All right. So that's a 9.6. There's only 35. There are 35 9.8 TMNT number 1s in the census, and 6 signature series. Okay. So the high sale, there's no high sale that I can see because I have to sign in, and I'm not going to sign into this. But there's no I can't see the high sales on the 9.8. So but I can see the high sale on the 9.6, which is $54,000. So $54,000 would get you roughly around a 5.5, between a 5.0 and 5.5 AF-15. If you're looking to compare the amount of money,
which one is again? It's just my opinion. If I had $54,000 burning a hole in my pocket, I would not buy a TMNT.
According to
because you're not.
AF-15 sold for $2,300,000.
It's not significant to you, but it doesn't mean that it's not significant.
Correct. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I can't make that. I'm just saying in my own opinion. But then again, my opinion's like, everyone has one. So,
like,
to each
for
his
instance, you were talking about Transformers. I never understood why Transformers was big. Like,
I think sold for that much on
stupid.
September 12th, 2021 at Heritage.
I never had the toys growing up, but you thought it was huge. And G.I. Joe wasn't a big thing when I was a kid. It was bigger when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, people, if you want to buy any toy, it's G.I. Joe. That's the one to buy. I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't a thing when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was Turtles, Power Rangers, like.
But that's the thing.
Those were the toys we had. But what I'm trying to explain is the significance to you compared to me. Like, there's G.I. Joe toys that have sold for millions, like certain G.I. Joe figures, and I don't get it. It's a Barbie in camo. To me,
you talking the 12-inch ones or the 3 to 4?
Yeah, the big ones, like the Barbie sized ones.
But I'm saying, but
I
the
played
G.I. Joe,
with the little Mattel ones.
the G.I. Joe didn't have any big movies. The movies didn't do. They didn't have the comics are big, but not as big as TMNT. Just
cartoon was huge, though.
The rarity of the TMNT is what helped make this like that underground buildup is what TMNT has. That's that origin, that back end story about.
Well, Joe's Doolin hit it right here, and he said it earlier too. TMNT has never really had a lull in content.
Yeah, G.I. Joe couldn't even get a good. Well, I liked Snake Eyes, but like those first two movies, like they've tried to adapt them, and they for whatever reason they can't. He's right. Like TMNT has always had some sort of adaptation present. Always. I mean, like this year we're gonna have two different adaptations running at the same time. Like they have the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show and the Netflix movie that's coming out for that. And then we also have Seth Rogen's thing, like two different adaptations running concurrently. G.I. Joe's never had that.
No.
Well, and Transformers had like
you've got the IDW comic book too. You got the Last Ronin stuff. Like there's a lot of teenage. The Last Ronin really lit the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle world back on fire. Like it really put, like, the cartoons were big with kids, but like this Last Ronin really brought back the old school Turtle fans and kind of put it in the forefront of everybody's mind again. And that's why there's so much focus on the Last Ronin in this universe. And all I'm going to say is, back on point here, I'm all for this video game. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited, especially if they do it like a full cinematic, God of War thing, like you were telling me earlier, Matt. Like, I think the time is right for it, because that book is so fucking good. I've read it twice, and I don't really read comics, and I've read that one twice.
Now you're trying to take JP's shtick, all right?
Huh?
JP's the guy that doesn't read comics around here.
I've always said I don't read comics. I think I don't read single issues usually. I wait till they come out with a trade. I own quite a few trades, but I think I only own like 4 single issue comic books.
What's the matter with you?
I just don't. I don't.
I have
This is the same reason why I get pissed on the episodic, week delivery system where I like Netflix that gives you all 10 episodes at once.
That's
same
Disney.
thing.
Disney and Apple stink with that, because Ted Lasso and Mandalorian, you got to wait till.
Yeah, I like being able to just consume it all at once, dude. Just give it to me.
Yep.
That's what she said.
Speaking of giving it to me, yesterday the news broke. I got to remove our logo. It's so massive here. Marvel Studios president of physical and post-production VFX and animation, Victoria Alonso. Did I say that right? Alonso?
Victoria Alonso.
With the company after 17 years. Very few details were shared at the time, but a new report has now given us a little more to go on. Although the specific reason for Alonso's termination, and yes, she was fired, still hasn't come to light. Variety has heard that the exec was blindsided by the news. Apparently, the decision was made by a
consortium.
Yeah, I had to breathe. Consortium, including Disney's entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman. Marvel Chief Creative Officer Kevin Feige was not involved in the process, but is said to have had felt merged into an absolute impossible situation and ultimately chose not to intervene when the hammer came down.
Do you like my little Mickey logo there?
I like it.
Do you know there's a Mickey logo for anything? You can have Mickey Mouse sitting on the toilet and you'll find Google images of it. Mickey Mouse talking on a phone. It's there. Mickey Mouse, reading.
She looks like Ken Brown from Drawn to Comics in a wig.
Dude, Matt, what did I tell you when I first saw a picture of her? That looks like a lady I would not want to work for.
She does.
She has yeah, I don't know what it is, dude, but I look at her and she looks like every bad manager.
Kyle's laughing because I know he sees it.
Can you fire a woman during Women's History Month? Is that possible to do that?
Yes.
What?
It's Women's History Month. Can you fire a woman during Women's History Month?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you could.
It's a little fucked up, but
shitty.
yeah, I guess.
Pretty shitty of Marvel to do that.
I don't know. Apparently she just like these visual effects studios. She was just, if you didn't hang on her every word and do everything that she said, she just blacklisted you and was just awful.
Why is this a big deal? Wasn't this the politically correct person?
She's the head.
Tell me you don't see the.
Oh my gosh, it is Ken.
I didn't mean to remove you, JP.
That's all right.
It's Ken. Holy fuck. Dude, we need to do a 23andMe on Ken.
Dude, they're like twins.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh fuck.
I didn't realize that. I've met Ken on quite a few occasions. I did not even catch that. So good. Ken, JP, Ken is a guy that owns a comic book shop here in Arizona, Drawn to Comics, that we've done some podcast events and stuff with him.
Sweet.
He's a really nice guy, actually.
Did you call him out on the podcast?
Yeah, none of this is supposed to be disparaging whatsoever.
No,
he's a really nice guy. But holy shit. These are twins, dude.
Yeah,
they look even the same age.
It's awesome.
Separated at birth.
Maybe it's just Ken in a wig. Maybe Ken lives a secret life that none of us knew about.
His comic book store should be a lot bigger if that's the case.
Double life. Well, that's why it's not bigger, because he's sitting here trying to get the VFX department for Marvel off the ground, and then he's got to come work at Drawn to Comics.
What do you think? So the next slide, this kind of bleeds into the next segment. There's something about Marvel. So this was something that I was talking to Matt about. I was thinking, now that Victoria Alonso, what's that?
Who came up with this?
Where does that noise keep coming from?
What noise?
I keep hearing a bang. Is that just me? Is there something playing on my end?
I think it's your kids tearing your house apart.
How's it go again? Bang.
Yeah, bang. It's like music. It's like dun, like a cutscene.
Where'd that come from? What was that? What was that?
There's something about Marvel. This is
you like that?
Nice. Who put this together?
I did.
Nice.
I never realized too that the tagline for this movie, it says "There's love in the hair."
My kids
make
that
tagline for the movie,
and that's a euphemism for love. It's love juice.
Love juice.
Yeah. So Victoria Alonso's leaving the studio. So hopefully, I think what people are hoping is that the relationship with these visual effects studios should improve, right? And didn't we talk about just a few weeks ago that Marvel was going to have their own in-house visual effects company, like they were making something in-house?
Yes, they were talking about it. Yes.
Where's Lucas Films or whatever the hell?
They're too busy with Star Wars and shit.
Right? Shouldn't that be with Disney now?
It is with Disney, but
so what are they doing?
You need
Star Wars.
I mean, they had that, and they have other visual effects studios there, but they had to get outside help with the amount that they were cranking out, which brings me to, how do we fix Marvel? Because Marvel's been on a slide, dude. How would you fix Marvel, JP?
Well, you'd have to start by reading a comic book.
just from a quality perspective, because I think that's what's ailing them right now, is right quality, and it kind of feels they've
sacrificed quality for quantity.
Yes, and in an effort to become cohesive, like storylines are kind of getting a little lost. I feel like the stories aren't as fleshed out as they once were.
They got to build up to the right event, in my opinion. That's Secret Wars, that 2015 Secret Wars. I think that's where the money's going to be at when they do that the right way. And I think there's many different little small stories they can build up to it, but I think they're too worried about inclusiveness, and I don't think that shouldn't drive the boat. That should just be part of the story, not driving the boat. And I think that's where they put out too much content to try to hit all those markers. And I just don't think that's but that should come out throughout, not be the driving factor.
The problem is, do you think they lose most of their audience by the time Secret Wars comes out? Because Ant-Man didn't do that well, did it?
Styx said she was overworked and underpaid and probably asked for a raise, so they fired her.
Shazam didn't do very good either.
Well, Shazam's DC.
Right, and neither did Black Adam. So did those movies not do well because people know there's a new change coming out, but the Flash movie will do well because people think that's part of it. Ant-Man, I'm surprised because that actually had implications for the future of Marvel, so kind of shocked on that one. But
I think the DC issue is completely different than the Marvel issue. I think the DC issue comes down to a couple things: that they've prematurely announced that these movies mean nothing.
That was stupid to do that.
Essentially. The other thing is, I think they pissed off a lot of people when they canceled the Batgirl movie, because they're still talking about that shit. I mean, Brandon Fraser was on Howard Stern just a few weeks ago talking about the Batgirl cancellation. Like, they really piss people off, especially a movie about a female black-led superhero movie, and they canceled it.
Yep.
In this era of diversity that we live in, it just seems completely contrary to progressiveness to cancel a movie like that. And then to follow it up with Black Adam and then Shazam, which Shazam is actually pretty progressive if you look at it. I mean, most of the characters in that movie are female.
Which is where Marvel's going with this.
Yeah, but I feel like Shazam,
when you talk about this stupid Shazam movie.
Dude, I liked Shazam. Ish liked Shazam. Most people that go and see Shazam like it. Have you seen it, JP?
I didn't see it.
Well, it has a 88% audience.
I don't listen to what moist people say. I listen to what dry people say. All
right. The three main villains are female. 2 of the 5 superhero Shazam family are female. Yeah, and then most of that cast is female.
You know why Shazam sucks? He needs a family to help him fight crime.
Like Batman needed Robin.
Family.
Yeah,
Batman just needed a young ward. He just needed
TMNT. We're all brothers.
Boy.
If you didn't like the first Shazam, you're definitely not going to like this new one.
I like the first one. I haven't seen this one yet.
If you like the first one, you will like it. But do you think Do you think, Matt, that they piss people off by canceling Batgirl? Do you think that plays?
So as if I own WB, I'd cancel shit just to piss off liberal morals and then drink their tears and replenish my evil. Yes, I don't think they piss people off, but I think it's that James Gunn is in charge. They announced that none of this shit means anything anymore. They're pivoting away, and that his Superman movie kicks off his new universe. So nothing else. Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, Blue Beetle, none of that shit means anything. So people aren't invested in it because they know it doesn't mean diddly dick anymore.
Well, and then people are still like Flash should do well because people are thinking that that's kind of the reset button, right?
I thought it was, but apparently it's from what Matt's saying. It's not going to be.
It's the end of the. It's the reset button in the sense of it's the end of the Snyderverse. Yeah, it's the reset.
But it's not. Aquaman 3 comes out after it.
Well, which is stupid. That should come out now.
They messed up because they pushed stuff.
I don't know.
It tells me that the way they keep pushing things tell me they have no faith in Aquaman 3. They know that movie's going to tank.
Well, and pre-screenings have said that the movie's awful.
Blue Beetle was a standalone, always. So it was never part of Snyder stuff. So it's always been a standalone stuff. It's just more of the DC heads before James Gunn came in trying to throw shit at the wall.
Think about something, though. Whenever George Lucas, the original Star Wars movies were great. And then he went back and redid them, and then he made them worse. Whenever you
because he got rid of the puppets, right?
The puppets. He put in the Greedo scene with Han Solo. He put in the backgrounds. He did too much to them. You guys all like to draw. Whenever you draw a picture, the more you like to mess with it, the worse it gets. So
there's a point where you're supposed to say stop.
Right?
Didn't George Lucas flip the scene where Leia says "I love you" and Han Solo says "I know"? Didn't he do something? Or no, the shoot first scene. That's what it was.
Greedo shot first, which is stupid. But again, like these studios, just leave it alone. Like you don't have to go back and redo things. Just they mess with stuff too much to try to make it, start over again. That's just reset. Like I guess you already have these movies in motion, but maybe not bring James Gunn on until those movies are out, as opposed to losing money on all these movies. Like it's just,
I think it was incredibly stupid. Like they should have just held on to this.
They'll tank a fucking $800 million movie in Batgirl. They don't give a shit. Money don't mean shit to them because they're still in the period where they can write stuff off because of their acquisition. They don't care.
No, but that was a tax thing. Like throwing Batgirl in the dumpster, they had to basically.
You can never bring it back out.
Yeah, they had to promise basically they'll never prosper from it.
And just
so it's a tax write-off.
Do you remember Kramer and Seinfeld? He would say, "Oh, just write it off." Well, Jerry said, "What does that mean? Like, where does it go? Like, they can't lose all that kind of money. Like, the Warner Brothers can't be like negative. They have to have earnings, and they can't just keep writing shit off. So have a plan. Like, you can't just keep redoing. Just get set and go with it. And then at some point, I guess you give it enough time to work, like a team."
What I was about to say, Batgirl was never going to make money.
I don't know about that.
My thing is,
I don't know about
if I was David Zaslav's boss, I would be incredibly pissed. Like if I was the board of directors or whatever for Warner Brothers Discovery, that dude would no longer have a job because this is all coming down from him. They should have held on to the James Gunn news until after Aquaman 3. Seen how all that stuff went, gave some people. I mean, it does seem like a bait and switch, but given some people some sense of, oh, this may mean something.
But I'm sure someone like James Gunn and his co-CEO can write it to have them connect somehow to make those movies worth it to watch.
They want it to be separate. They don't want them connecting. There's such a negative view around the Snyder movies. They don't want to be connected to anything. Like anything that has to do with these Snyder characters, it's just got such a bad taste in their mouth. They're cursed. You're not gonna make money in these movies.
Why did it mean so much for them to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man movie? Not everybody.
But Andrew Garfield wasn't considered, like his movies like he wasn't considered that great at the time.
They brought him back. Now he's canon.
They brought him back.
Now he's he's part of that universe in some multiverse situation. Same with the Flash and bringing back Michael Keaton. Like, that's why there's a way to write that in there to make it worth
banking on nostalgia to sell your movie.
Yeah, but
that's the same thing with TMNT.
Not
nostalgia
really.
is what sells that.
I mean, it's still, they're not.
No, Last Ronin is really
They're still relevant. I get that, but like, it's still nostalgia that brings you in to buy more of that. There's still nostalgia that brings people to watch the Flash because Keaton's in it, or to connect the Snyderverse. I don't think it's that hard. I don't know. I think it's like building a whole building and saying, or a whole new stadium for your team, and then saying, screw it, we're going to move them across the pond to UK because England needs a team and we want to have more more teams over in England and Britain. You just build a new stadium. What are you gonna do with that? Oh, we'll just write it off. Well, someone paid for that.
Well, NFL teams do it all the time. Look at the Raiders just did to Oakland.
Yeah,
look what the the fucking Rams and Chargers did to St. Louis and San Diego. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, they can always write off. Millionaires have so many different tax breaks that we don't even know about. They can write that shit off, and they're gonna get they're not gonna get all the $800 million back, but they're gonna get a good portion of it back. And they don't care that those movies are cursed. Like, anything, the minute you put any movies out with the Snyder character, just automatically cursed. Like, Shazam was never gonna succeed. Black Adam was never gonna succeed. It's just that stigma. It's that bad taste in the mouth that these movies have sucked. They've sucked from the beginning. They're tone deaf. They don't understand their characters. They're trying to go too dark. They don't follow content. You got the stories written in a book. They are handed to you. Somebody else has hand delivered you these stories, and you still fuck them up. You still find a way to fuck them up.
They don't read books,
and so.
Well, that's why Kevin Feige's been so great for Marvel, and hopefully that's why James Gunn is going to be so good for DC, because he is a fan of the characters.
Walk into a movie, you see any actor leaving a Marvel meeting and they get cast, they've got a fucking thick binder full of stories and content and comics and everything that character they're in.
It didn't seem to matter to Brie Larson, though.
Well,
she got cast as Captain Marvel, posted on Instagram her reading a bunch of Captain Marvel books, and it still didn't make any impact on the movie. But I digress. Whatever. No, my thing is, like, there are some good things that I think people generally liked about Zack Snyder's movie, like Margot Robbie being one of them as Harley Quinn.
Let's be honest. All right. I'm going to be honest with you right here. 100%. And I know it's not a popular opinion, but she looks like Harley Quinn. Otherwise, she was ass as Harley Quinn.
I liked her, but she's not Harley Quinn the way I recognized her. Like, I've made that comment times. Like, I wanted the Jester suit, and you got a sneak peek of it in one of the movies. They do like a flashback scene or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
in. I want to say it's in Suicide Squad, but it might be. It might be Birds of Prey, but
it looks
she's
fucking
asshole
awesome.
as Harley Quinn.
She took a character and made it her own, but it was generally liked by people. I mean,
she looks good as Harley Quinn, but like, she's got the look, but I don't think she's not the Harley Quinn I wanted. Like,
well, in Birds of Prey, I would say Birds of Prey is a shit movie, but Margot Robbie in Birds of Prey was actually pretty good. The movie sucks though. But that was the first time that I saw her like kind of embrace the sadistic, crazy Harley Quinn that we should have had all along. But I don't think anybody would bat an eye if she were to come back as
we always
Harley
get on
Quinn.
Every week we talk about this stupid shit. I'm so tired of talking about DC.
Because it's the big topic right now.
DC
we're
is asshole, and it's time for everyone just to admit it. DC
we're waiting for it to be what it can be, and I think that's what we're talking about, and the anticipation of the proclamation of masturbation. Come on now, we're waiting for it to be what it should be.
Yeah,
and I think James Gunn will get it there, but Marvel's falling off the sides, off the cliff.
I don't.
And
I fuck, man. I really don't think he will.
you don't think he will?
I don't think he's gonna. Fuck, man. Like, watch Guardians to Guardians 2. Depending on Guardians 3, like,
But
Guardians
did
2
you
is
not
fun.
like Peacemaker?
I don't. I liked Peacemaker, yes, but that's what I'm saying. His, and like we've said millions of times, his appeal is his ability to turn you on to obscure characters that he can kind of work with and get away with taking in a different direction because you don't know diddly dick about him.
But I'll play
now
devil's advocate.
Superman. Now he's got to take on Superman, and he's got to do something with Superman, and so we might see something different. But part of me is like, I don't see James Gunn taking. I root for him. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong, but I just don't see it.
My thing that I don't
James
like
Gunn being
is
the savior of DC.
I don't like that he's pulling double duties of creating the universe and he's going to write and direct the first movie. I like Marvel's approach where Kevin Feige's kind of the architect and then hires people to write and direct. Like, I like that better. Like, I want one guy focused on making everything, coming up with the plan and making everything interconnect, and not worry so much about, oh, fuck, I got to write this movie, and I've got to direct this movie, and I've got to cast this movie, and I got to do all this other shit. No, just focus on the landscape of the next 10 years. That should be his job. And then hire people that are better than you to fucking write the movies.
There's probably nobody better than James Gunn, not to write, but for what maybe the direction they want to go.
But James Gunn has written some shit movies, though. He's not batting 1,000. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was not that good. Guardians 1 was really good. Guardians 2, not so much. The holiday special, could have slept through it.
I don't think it's meant to be an Oscar-winning show.
But he's done other movies that aren't that good, man. Like, it's... And to take on such an iconic and big character, I agree with Matt here. Like, to take on such a big character of Superman, it should have went to somebody with some, like, with a better.
Would you have thought Jon Favreau would have made the Iron Man movie you saw in 2008?
He made the only good Iron Man movie. Iron Man 2 was not good. Iron Man 3 was not good.
Better than 2, though.
No.
It's more watchable
than 3.
It is more watchable. Oh, I fucking hate 2. But you and I have gone through this before. I'd much rather watch 3 over 2.
But that setting of that character made it possible for the other 20 movies.
He cast Robert Downey Jr. If you go back and watch Iron Man 1, there's some cringe-worthy scenes, like dialogue-wise. Robert Downey Jr. makes that movie.
He does, but seeing Swingers and knowing Favreau and what's his buddy's name? Favreau. What'd I say? Favreau.
That's how you say it.
What's his buddy's name?
Vince Vaughn.
Swingers. What?
Vince Vaughn.
Would you have thought those guys, he would have made Iron Man? He made Elf. He made Iron Man. Like, those are...
But he even comes down and says he's more of a writer and a director than he is an actor.
But then he's making Mandalorian. Like, that brought back...
Which we're about to get into. Mandalorian's been shit.
That's a good transition point. Because that... I think this brought Star Wars back into the mix. This original, the season 1. Now, whatever you want to say about season 3, we'll get into that. But he brought it back. Like, I would have not have thought that guy, Favreau. I loved him in Swingers. Always, I was favorite of mine.
I rooted for him in Rudy
and PCU, and he brought.
I ate with him in Chef.
He set the tone, man. I mean, I would never have thought it. So you never know. James Gunn may set the tone for the DCU going forward, or as I like to call it,
in the replacements.
The DCGU.
Yeah, but I think with James Gunn, and I hope I'm wrong about this. I think with James Gunn, you're going to get 1 or 2 movies into this thing, and then it's gonna start going off the rails again. Because you saw it with the original DC, like it steadily went downward.
I'm sure it'll suck.
And then you had a peak, and then it went downward, and then you had a peak, and then it went down. It's just.
So should I sell my booster gold? Is what you're saying?
Well, the booster gold movie's coming out, so we'll see.
If it's gonna suck.
Mandalorian is boring me to tears.
Oh my god, this episode was terrible.
Really?
I'm just so done with this show, man. Like I've lost like. Not to mention it's beat for beat fucking Last of Us. Like Pedro Pascal, like come out of your comfort zone a little bit, buddy.
I think it's awesome this guy has 2 hit movies or shows at the same time.
He was also in Game of Thrones.
Right, but at the same time,
this is one of those dudes batting 1,000.
Right, but Mandalorian and The Last of Us were out at the same time, the same couple for at least the last 3 episodes. He's had probably the #1 streaming movie or show on Disney and HBO Max.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
But this show is not okay. So I brought this up to Matt earlier, and this was not my idea. This was somebody else was. Oh, it's Fat Man, Kevin Smith, and what's the other guy's name? Matt?
Mark Brunell.
They were talking about it. And the podcast I was watching with the 2 of them was before episode 3 came out. So they were just talking about the first 2 episodes. And they were saying how the first episode, he goes back to that town where that droid killed all those people, and they need to bring the droid back because that's the only droid that he can take with him to these waters because he's an apostate now, and he has to fix that droid. And then he goes to I want to say Jabberwockies. That's not their name. What's those things called? What are those little things?
Little guys
that steal stuff?
Jabberwockies.
Jabberwockies is that dance group.
The Jawas.
And then it says, "Hey, I need this part."
Bernard is his name.
We need this part to fix this droid because this is the only droid that can get me down these waters. And we're like, "Oh, that's impossible. We can't get this part." But here's this fucking dumpster droid here that you can take with you. That'll be just fine. Oh, okay. We don't need this droid, so I'll just take this fucking falling apart thing with me instead. The whole first episode is moot.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares about the first episode now? You could just take any droid.
He should have taken Carl Weathers with him.
So then he takes fucking droid that fucking falls over and shit. Looks like a trash can with them to these waters. And then the episode's picking up a little bit, and so you're like, okay, I wonder what's gonna happen next episode. It's gonna be a continuation of this. No, it's about some fucking scientists.
Oh, in episode 3.
Yeah. And then we get back, and Matt, you brought up this point, so I'm going to steal it from you for a second, so just everybody know this was Matt's idea. First episode, we see a demon take a kid. Okay, then the next episode, we see a fucking...
you get a fucking water dinosaur that just rolls up on the beach and fucks some kid and starts just...
Whoa, what movie did you watch?
Just fucking starts just having its way with all these Mandalorians on this beach, and then it's like...
And they don't have enough rocket fuel.
Yeah, then they're like, oh, well, we're just going to keep, then you get 2 episodes later, a pterodactyl just carries some kid off, and they're like, oh, well, Bo-Katan's the only one that has some sense to get in a ship. They're like, oh, we don't have enough rocket fuel to chase him. Well, this has happened before. It's like, dude, then why are you still on this beach? What are you doing? You're just okay with, like, pterodactyls taking off your kids. And
why are you letting your kids be 100 paces away from that kid? Nobody was around that kid, and yet there's big monsters stealing children. Bad parenting. Remember how you were saying how there was kids in your John Wick screening last night, Matt? Bad parents.
That's always the case in the theaters near me. The Amish bring their kids for everything.
There's fucking kids being snatched up by fucking molesters and all this shit all over the world. Do I let my 4-year-old run down the street by herself? Fuck no.
And then you got Grogu out here. Look, like, make Grogu. The fucking Mandalorian chick's like, oh, well, we're going to make you the next part of your Mandalorian armor. It's a fucking giant pendant where he looks like goddamn Flavor Flav now. Like,
yeah, boy.
I wrote in one of my group chats, I said, every year, countless Mandalorians foundlings are killed by pterodactyls. Your donations for just $2 a day can help Mandalorian's rescue squads have enough jetpack fuel to save them. With the Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel theme music playing over it.
Not to mention these big Mandalorian eating pterodactyls. We're going to bring 3 babies back with us that are going to outgrow us. You know,
but they will train them.
These things grow the size. Like, oh my fuck.
We will fly on them.
Oh, so now we're going to Avatar.
This episode may have jumped a shark.
No, this may have happened. This season, you name one good thing from this. And I know somebody brought up the mythosaur in the water.
And you don't even know if like Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are gonna bump uglies or fight each other for the Darksaber. Like you.
Well, I mean, why does a jet fuel run out, but the Darksaber lasts forever, and their blasters never need to be, put a new clip in it,
something like that.
Yeah, but you don't have. I mean, fuel's fuel, man.
Mandalorians, like their whole shtick is they. Like a lot of their stuff runs off like an old technology. I mean, she's sitting there bending metal like a blacksmith, dude.
Right, like, but they have a Darksaber and they have guns.
No, but he has a Darksaber that they have wasn't created by the Mandalorians.
That repels lasers.
That's just a special metal. That
you don't even need that because a stormtrooper can't hit the fucking broad side of a barn. So
no, but they don't even need armor that can last long enough to get the pterodactyls.
This is just going into a realm that is why I hated Book of Boba Fett. It's why I liked Andor so much, and this is just going down that.
Joe's doing says, "What does the armor do? Since only Din seems to have Beskar armor, and the rest of the Mandos like they have Kmart
exactly."
I tell you what.
It looks like they're melting down shopping carts.
The armor thing, it was supposed to be cool because you see a Mandalorian, you got the Boba Fett gear and how cool Boba Fett was, in the 80s when he came out and whatnot. And then they just look like a bunch of weirdos wearing helmets. Like, take your helmet off, eat, kiss the girl that's next to you if you want to. Take the damn helmet off. They all look like they just look weird, leaving them all on all the damn time. So I just like, what the hell?
I don't know. I know just enough about Star Wars to be dangerous and have a conversation, and I don't go into the lore of it because I don't really care that much because it's whatever. But
I don't know. It's fun to watch.
I understand that like their big thing is trying to tame and ride giant beasts and things like that, but that's cool. But like you just hang out on the beach and let your kids get snatched by dinosaurs or snatched by pterodactyls.
Not to mention, they're so close to the water. There's a even bigger thing in the water that eats that pterodactyl like it's nothing.
Yeah,
and you're just letting your kids. I seem to remember stories from Florida of kids being snatched up by alligators.
Yeah, but this kid was snatched and taken to the lair, and then was about to be spit out to those 4 little hatchlings. Like, wouldn't the saliva start to decompose his body somehow?
Well, because they waited a whole day. With him? Yeah, what did that pterodactyl thing do with that kid the whole time? Like, they beat the thing back to its nest. Like,
right.
They slept under the cave a whole night.
Do you guys ever see Beastmaster? You guys ever see the movie Beastmaster?
No.
From the 80s, you got to watch that. But there's these guys that are in they're supposed to be part of the Eagle clan or some shit. They're like these, I don't know, weird dudes that are in the cave somewhere. And they had wings, and when they would grab somebody, the wings would hold them in, and then their body would just decompose, and then just bones would fall out. So that whatever that was, that pterodactyl ate that kid. You would think when it spit it out, it would have been like cud, right? From inside.
Well, yeah. Though I always thought birds like chew up their food, and then
it's supposed to be cud.
Alicia Silverstone style. And fucking
Beastmaster, spiritual, and you know it.
Regurgitated it to him.
Great,
but a full-grown kid, it's just fucking stupid, dude.
See, that's like you guys talk about TMNT. Beastmaster should have been a goddamn comic that came out. That was a good show, good movie. But anyway, I digress.
I've never even heard of it. I don't think.
My God,
it
was good shit. But anyway, that's what those guys did. So you would have thought he would have spit out just bones and like cud for those little birds to eat, but.
I agree. When I saw him come out, when they went up in the nest and he wasn't there, I was like, oh, the kid's already dead.
That's what I thought too. You see the helmet sitting there. I was like, oh, that kid's fucked.
No, he wasn't dead until he goes, oh, there's a heat signature there. And I'm like, all right, there he is. And then the dad's yelling, whatever his name was, Jimmy Papatz.
No, I knew. I was like, there's going to be babies in that nest to watch.
Well, which is funny. The heat signature looked like the size of a small boy, and then these 3 gigantic things come out. Like,
I know.
It's just fucking dumb. So who said it? Darth said, you're right, Solo, but it's still bad writing on these last 2 episodes. It's been bad writing since Luke.
Oh, no.
Yes, dude.
No, it's been bad writing since Book of Boba Fett.
No.
Yeah. But here's my problem. So apparently Kathleen Kennedy, like Grogu was supposed to spend more time with Luke, and Kathleen Kennedy made Jon Favreau put Grogu back with Din. I can't say his name.
Din Djarin.
The whole Luke thing is a throwaway storyline too. Like it's just everything.
What do you mean by that?
So I was watching TikTok, and it was Matt or Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Is that the South Park guys?
Yeah.
And they were teaching a class about writing scripts to like some famous film school university or something like that. And they're saying anytime that you're writing a script and to get from one thought to another, you connect those thoughts by saying and then, it's a bad script. And that's what this movie feels like. It's not so you should be writing things like this happens, therefore this happens, therefore this happens, and therefore this happens. Not this happens and then this happens and then this happened. That's what this feels like. Nothing is the word causation, like
causality.
Yeah, it all feels like separate. Well, wouldn't this be cool? Oh, and then this happens. That would be cool. Oh, and then this happens. That would be cool. It's not good writing. Like nothing happens because something else happened. And the first 2 episodes show you that. The first episode is garbage because it does nothing for the storyline, because the second episode they completely whitewash the fucking first episode. And then the third episode makes no sense because it just comes out of left field about some fucking scientists, and then never like But
that was fucked up though. What happened?
Hate this shit.
If you guys watch Game of Thrones, remember the bastard from Game of Thrones? I
didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Matt, you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
You know who the bastard is. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole scene where this guy is captured. Not Jon Snow, but is one of his brothers from whatever that the North. And he thinks he escapes, and he runs around, and he thinks he's out of the castle and gets out. And then the bastard, the guy that was with him to get him out, brought him right back in and fucked him over. And this girl did the same damn thing to that scientist, and he gets his brain fried. And I just thought it was a fucked up episode because what she did to him.
If that story, if they had a show that was about that, I would have liked it. But I didn't like that.
But I think somebody wrote on here. They're gonna bring in Snoke. They're gonna bring in how they clone Palpatine, all that kind of shit.
So make that a different show, or make that another.
I guess they're trying to connect this stuff somehow. I don't know why they have to like. I never watched Clone Wars, the cartoon, just because I thought I don't like animated stuff because I never thought it was canon. But
he never liked animated stuff, and he has a whole wall of comic books behind him.
I don't like I never thought it was canon. I just didn't think the movie should be canon in my opinion, but the cartoons, the Clone Wars, I think made the stories of the original 3 movies better because they were able to dive deeper. And I think they're trying to dive deeper into 7, 8, and 9 to make them more relevant because they did such a bad job. So that's what this storyline is supposed to do, is to make shitty movies better.
Yeah, I've never been a huge Star Wars fan. We've made that clear on this show multiple times. Andor, to me, over the last 2 years, has been the most interesting show or movie that has come out in Star Wars.
So boring.
And I know you don't like it, Matt. I liked it because it was different. Felt different. The storytelling was better. The dialogue was better. It just... feel like we're getting to the point where Mandalorian's just relying a little bit too much on like how many times can we put Grogu in the scene to make it more entertaining? How many times can we?
For me.
How many times can we like the whole scene where she's smashing the metal and you see his face like grimacing and stuff like it's so fucking stupid, dude. It is so
yes, but it goes
I'm
back
getting more angry. I walked into
this. But it goes back to what happened to put him into Order 66 and what happened,
it just carried on a little too long. It carried on a little too long because they wanted more Grogu.
Jar Jar Binks to be the fucking savior of Grogu when it could have totally
been. That's who you're talking about, the Jedi that saves them. That's Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
No, it wasn't
you were telling me this.
That was the actor that played Jar Jar Binks. Yes, it was.
That's right.
Yes, it was.
Oh, my God, right.
So we walked into tonight's podcast. I'm like, yeah, Mando wasn't that great, but whatever. It's fine.
Oh,
the more and more we talk about, the more and more I'm realizing I don't like it.
But you get mad if you have a problem with that. In The Last of Us, they had both of the actors who were in the video game in those last 2 episodes or last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they weren't hated characters.
I don't care that
Binks was not hated.
I don't care that it was the Jar Jar Binks is absolutely hated.
I love Jar Jar.
I don't care that it's
I have
the actor that played him
somewhere.
I'm just saying, like, that could have totally been an awesome Mace Windu fucking cameo there.
Yeah, that'd been cool. Yeah,
but
or Ahsoka.
I kept thinking it was a young Mace Windu or something like that, and I realized he didn't have a purple lightsaber.
No. Well, Mace Windu wouldn't have been young at that point since
I don't fucking understand the timeline, dude. I'm watching this for the sheer like enjoyment factor. Like I'm not connecting.
Why are you watching that? Because it doesn't sound like you're getting any of it.
No, it's turning me off. I may not even watch next week.
You're gonna watch. Come on now.
Yeah, you'll watch.
I love Pedro Pascal. He does a great job as the Mandalorian.
I don't have any issues. Like, I get what you're saying about episode 1, but I liked episode 1. I liked episode 2 enough. Episode 3 I thought sucked. My real only issue with this episode was like the Mandalorians are like these badasses, and they're like, it seems like that these badasses, like they're, feared and revered around the galaxy to the point where like they had to have their entire fucking race attempted to be wiped out by nuking their planet, and they can't fucking have the common sense not to constantly have their young ones carried off by a fucking pterodactyl. They can't have the common sense to, if there's a giant fucking dinosaur in the water that's going to eat us, why the fuck are we playing by the beach?
Stay in the fucking cave.
This should happen to the caveman.
1-year-old daughter knows the stove is hot, not to touch it. These motherfuckers are still playing on the goddamn beach when motherfuckers are getting taken away, or they haven't had the common sense to be like, oh, well, we need to keep a jump ship close or a ship close to shoot this motherfucker down when he comes to take our kids. They're constantly, oh, we're going to charge at him with our jetpacks. And then you got this big motherfucker with this Gatling gun on his goddamn back trying to jetpack. Like, you're fucking telling me that that's not going to eat up your fuel more because of how big your ass is and carrying that big ass gun.
Looks like me on a fucking rocket pack. Like, I'm glad. Man. I'm surprised that dude can get 4 feet off the ground.
I know he's not a new Jedi, Solo Wookiee. I understand. I know he's not a new Jedi. But I'm just saying the actor that played him was also the actor that played Jar Jar Binks. I know he's not a new Jedi. I get that. Like, I'm just saying, like.
But he wasn't a new Jedi.
It could have been Mace Windu. Like, it should have been Mace Windu that did it. It would have been so much better if it was Mace Windu rather than him. I understand he's not a new Jedi.
He wasn't a Jedi that was in the movie itself. So they just
I don't know who the fuck that guy was. Who was he? Just some dude? Just some Jedi?
Mace Windu Jr. maybe. I don't know.
Mace Windu Jr.
New live action, yes.
Who's the guy playing the big ass Mandalorian guy? Is that
his name's Killerin? Let's say it's Killerin Beck or something like that. It's his actual fucking name, and
he sounds like Batista, doesn't he? When you hear him in the with the
like Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista, yeah, he sounds like Dave Bautista.
I understand Mace Windu is presumed dead, but it could have been that he wasn't dead. Like, they keep talking about bringing him back. It would have been the perfect time for him to reappear right there to show that he saved Grogu. Like, He fell
But
out
he
the
was missing
window
a
and
hand.
saved Grogu. Like
all I
help you
see
with
in the
my little-
chat, and no offense, guys, I just see a bunch of fucking Star Wars apologists in the fucking chat. Like it just doesn't. Like the show's bad. Just because it's Star Wars doesn't mean it has to be good.
Yes,
It's not good. It's not good.
It's great.
It's boring.
It's the best.
I don't think like I can entertain.
I'm more
by it, but
excited
I'm
about fucking Ted Lasso than I do this show. And this
I'm
show
not picking apart the lore of this shit. I'm picking apart the practicality of it. Like you fucking know a stove's hot, don't touch it. You know something's dangerous, don't go near it. Why the fuck are you still on a beach with goddamn dinosaurs?
You have
fucking just
spaceships.
rolling your ass.
Go fucking does this island means nothing to you?
They have
go somewhere else.
shields. They have energy fields. They shouldn't get eaten by fucking prehistoric animals.
Right.
If you can have fucking Solo, you're gonna sit here and tell me you can't have Anakin cut his arm off and shove him out a window, then just pop up to save Grogu. Then why the fuck do you have Boba Fett climbing out of a goddamn Sarlacc pit to just appear again? He's being digested by a fucking dinosaur or monster, and he can just show up again. But it's out of this question for Mace Windu to come back after falling out of a window. I mean, I don't.
But
think
have you
so.
seen
Not
how
Star
far
Wars
the fall is on that city? It's thousands and thousands of miles. He'd have been falling forever.
What I will say, and I was kind of bummed that it didn't keep feeding into this, there was some mention at some point that all the Mandalorians were being lied to about the state of their home planet. And I was hoping that the story was going to keep diving down that about there's some reason why they're being lied to and they can't go back there, some sort of like conspiracy. And that piqued my interest a little bit, and then no mention of it again.
I don't even care, dude. Like, I understand. I kind of agree with you that there are some Star Wars apologists in the fucking chat. Like, you just don't want to understand. You want it to be good, and it's just bad writing.
Oh, I totally want it to be good because the first season was incredible. The first season was so good, and then this is the third season or fourth?
This is the third.
See, last season seems like way longer to me than.
Well, dude, they took an entire year off because they had Book of Boba Fett.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking of this is season 4 because I'm mixing Book of Boba Fett's like when it came out in there,
which turned into Mandalorian season 3 part 1 halfway through it.
Like I just feel like the end of season 1 was the reveal of Luke coming to get Grogu, right? And Pedro Pascal takes off his mask. Right? That's the end of season 1.
2.
Well, season 2, he would have been with Luke and Ahsoka appears.
No. No. Yes. No. No.
I'm having a hard time following
season
the
2.
Timeline.
So season 2 is when he takes Grogu to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka says, I'm not going to train him. It's the end of season 2 when Luke shows up and takes Grogu.
No, but you get a bunch of scenes with Luke and Ahsoka and Grogu, and then Mando gets the Grogu back. When does that happen?
That happens in I want to
say that Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, this fucking show, dude, this fucking piece of shit show. So this season, so what I was reading was this season, so Jon Favreau wanted to leave because Kathleen Kennedy was getting too involved. And then said, hey, I'll continue doing it, but I don't want Kathleen Kennedy anywhere near Mandalorian. Because she was a big reason when it says, hey, you need to get Grogu back to Mandalorian. They need to be together. That's the whole show. These two need to be together. And Jon Favreau wanted Grogu to be with Luke longer than he was. But that whole thing was sped up in order to get Mando and Grogu back together.
Because, well, the problem with this show, and like we've spent so much time on this show already, more than I wanted to. The problem with this show is that he's achieved his mission. He achieved his mission. He got Grogu with Luke, with the Jedi. Mission accomplished. And now it's like, what is his mission? What is his end game? What is he working towards now?
Yeah, and he wants to no longer be an apostate.
Yeah,
right.
Is he
so
trying
he
to restore
achieved that
Mandalore?
pretty quickly.
Is he trying to what are we aiming here for now?
I just feel like, honestly, they should have came out and said this is the final season of Mandalorian.
No, I don't think it needs to be the final season. That's being a little ridiculous. That's being a little harsh on a couple episodes. Like I said, I overall like the episode. I just feel like practically, like there's some stupid choices in here. Like the fact that they just let this keeps happening, that these fucking birds are carrying these dudes away is just stupid to me. It's not practical. But again, it's like, what are they building towards? They're building towards something more. They're building towards something bigger. I get it, but like, I just wish we had some sort of, maybe I'm just not up on the knowledge enough to know where they're going or what they're building towards. But to say, well, this season is building towards something that's going to happen with Thrawn and happen in Ahsoka. From as much knowledge as I have, if Thrawn shows up, it's going to be like a end of season cameo like Luke does in season 2, and then the Thrawn stuff's going to carry over in Ahsoka, because Thrawn is more so connected to Ahsoka with Ezra and Sabine and all that stuff. Like the only connection Din Djarin right now has to anything Thrawn related really is the fact that he's palling around with Bo-Katan, like, and Ahsoka now too, but that's it. Like, I guess I don't see the roadmap of where this is going. Like, to me, he achieved his goal at the end of season 2. It was done. And now it's almost like Marvel. Marvel achieved its goal with Endgame, and now they seem lost, and they just seem like they're tumbling through the fucking plane.
Let me clarify my statement of this should have been the last season. What I was trying to say was, if they announced this was the last season, that the season could have felt like it had more weight to it, I guess. But right now, my fear is that they're going to take 10 episodes, which is the whole season, just to build up a storyline so they can go into season 4. And that's what I fear, because right now it just seems like nothing's happened.
Well, I don't know. I just kind of wish Book of Boba Fett would have established where Mando season 3 was going to go, and then they kind of hit the ground running. But I mean, I'm still on board for it. It's only 4 episodes in, so I'm not going to like sit here.
We're almost halfway through the whole season.
The show sucks.
We're almost halfway. We're almost halfway through the whole season. So when is it going to pick up? 6 episodes left.
It's a lot of episodes left.
Yeah, it's
not really. Not really. When they squandered the first 4.
Squandered only one of them.
No,
in my opinion, only the scientist.
I gave you an exact reason why they squandered the first one.
That little plot device, I wouldn't call it squandered.
But it's the main plot device of the first episode.
With Carl Weathers is not squandered. Come on now.
But
no, I like.
You got to understand, he's being told by everyone that goes to this planet that the planet is inhabitable. He doesn't know what's sitting there waiting for him. So if that droid was the only one that could help him to get IG-88, why was he able to take a different one?
Because he should have taken IG-88. He should have taken IG-88.
Yeah, he wanted to take IG-88 because IG-88 was a bounty hunter. It was a more capable droid. Yeah, so now he took the garbage droid because he had no other choice. He needed a droid. So regardless, he didn't have IG-88 to be that muscle. So he had to take the other droid with him.
Start the episode. Why not just start the season? Why does it have to be that one? Why not just start the season and look for a more capable droid? There's plenty of droids that are more capable than the fucking IG-88
is a trained bounty hunter. It's a more capable droid that is prepared for any situation, hostile or not, that it might.
But would it have been better to make the episode or the season him to find all the parts for IG-88 to make him?
No, take 2 episodes. Take 2 episodes. Find the parts. Take 2 episodes. He has to track down this thing. but they just kind of threw it away by saying, "Oh, that's impossible," and take this dumpster thing. They should have just said, "Oh yeah, we'll find it," and then fix it, and then have him take him. Like it just makes it stupid.
I like that it's old technology, and they just can't get everything they need to always fix the situation. Like,
but
it
probably
makes
the
it
better
more
part
interesting.
about the sequels of 7, 8, 9 and The Mandalorian, that they made the tech look so similar to episode 4, 5, and 6. Because that was the issue with 1, 2, and 3, is that they made it too technologically advanced, but then all the rest of the movies have all looked like similar tech.
Oh yeah,
beat up, for the most part.
Yeah, there's
so that's
a scene.
What's cool about it.
There's a scene in Book of Boba Fett where he's looking through his camera. It's like all green and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. No, I think what I'm saying is the way I would have written it was, first episode, he says, "Hey, I need these things. I need this droid." Okay. And he goes and said, "Oh, we can't fix it." And then he goes to somebody that can fix it, finds out how to fix it, and takes him. It just, by not taking him, by saying in the second episode, "Oh, we can't get those parts," it could have been a 5-minute conversation. Like, it's impossible to fix them. You're gonna have to figure out something else. And then he goes and gets the garbage droid. But they took an episode and a half to find out that the droid is no good and can't be fixed, and then take this dumpster droid instead. It's just a throwaway storyline. Or he could have grabbed, was it the big metal? No, that was Andor. See, now I'm getting droids confused. There's other capable droids, though.
What are the ones that they
have to broach this? Hey, let's resurrect this droid. And
wouldn't even better off.
Let me go to this other planet to resurrect this droid. Oh, it can't be resurrected.
But in his mind,
fucking Rubbermaid bin.
In his mind, from what he remembers, it's a capable bounty hunter droid that is prepared for any situation that he has befriended.
So then they should have been able to fix it. Throw it in that storyline that he's able to fix it.
But
the garbage pail droid makes that moot. It's bad writing.
It's a moot point.
It's called working with what you got.
It's dumb for it to take an episode and a half. It could have been a 5 to 10 minute.
But it's only, again, it's only been 4 episodes. We don't know if that's gonna come back to be a plot point later on. I'm not arguing the writing in that standpoint. I'm not arguing semantics like that. I'm just arguing that, in my opinion, this episode made the Mandalorians look like a bunch of dumbasses.
Thank you,
that's
Joe.
My point.
So Joe's doing a lot of wasted energy for little to no return. And we'll find out. If it gets down to episode 10 and they never revisit that droid storyline, then it's bad writing. If it comes up later, which I don't see how it can, they come up episode 6. Oh, by the way, we were able to fix this thing. Then it's just even more dumb at that point. But if they find some way to resurrect it, like, hey, remember that droid you wanted to fix? Well, we figured out a way to do it, and then he plays
that droid can fly
later.
A ship now too. So instead of Bo-Katan going after him, he should just fucking had that droid jump in his ship and go fuck that pterodactyl up.
Yeah.
Does IG-88 have ED? Is that why they can't resurrect him?
Yes. He has. He is electrically defective.
Well, they put his personality chip back in, and he reverted back to his original programming. Was it right? It's just a long-winded way to get to where they got, and then to go into episode 3 and not have the payoff of episode 2. Like, episode 3 could have been the last half of episode 10 of this season or something, to set up some other storyline or something. It just, I don't know. We spent way too much time on this, and I feel like I can go on forever about it. I really want to change my mood right now. So can we just talk about Ted Lasso?
I wish you would have stopped a long time ago.
I need to brighten my mood. Let's just talk about Ted Lasso.
Let's go to Ted Lasso, and then I got to jump off here shortly because it's almost 1 a.m. where I'm at.
Yeah, this is the last topic.
Yes, that exactly, Solo Key, 100%. IG-11 was the go-to because he was already Grogu's protector, heavily armored and sensible. They may still be able to fix IG-11, but trying to find parts doesn't happen overnight.
So wait.
You're right.
So wait.
Make it the episode to find it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Ted Lasso. I watched.
I just hope he comes out with a big old fucking swinging dick on this droid and just like, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
I don't know. And like I said, I'm not the one that originated that thought. That came from Kevin Smith. And I said, "Oh yeah," and then it made me hate it.
You just bought into it. You sniffed his butthole.
I bought into a seasoned scriptwriter.
What did Kevin
said,
say?
"Oh yeah, this dude has a point. This dude talked about exactly what I'm talking about on his podcast." And I said that from the get-go. I watched his podcast. He said this, and now I realize
he farted, and I hailed it, and I took his opinion.
I just feel like in the moment I was blind by oh, it's Mandalorian. I was blind by it, and then now
how can you be blind by it if you're not into Star Wars?
He was blinded
because
by
I loved the first season.
It's because his boyfriend loves it, so he's got to love it in return.
No,
it's like
no,
it's like that girlfriend that she pretends to like what you like just so she can get you to
absolutely wrong. Max has been trying to get me to watch Lord of the Rings for 15 years now. Fuck those movies. He's been trying to make me a Star Wars fan. I'm not a Star Wars fan. There's plenty of things. He fucking has this affinity for Batman versus Superman. I fucking hate
Lopez,
that movie.
I've lost all respect for you now, sir.
Oh, what episode 1 was awesome. The only reason I would say episode 2, which was awesome, was weaker than episode 1 because I wanted to see more Nate. I want to see Nate get just fucking beat down.
I'm
waiting for that culmination.
They're not going to give you all the goods in the first 2 episodes.
I know. I'm being very nitpicky at this point, but there was no Nate in this episode, and that storyline is the one that's intriguing me the most. But this is good story or good.
I see a lot of reports about episode 1 too, and the tone of episode 1 that are out there, and I'm like, really, have you watched this show? Have you really understood the evolution of this show and the writing of this show and where they're going with it, and the fact that Ted is now broken and he is not the overly enthusiastic, upbeat guy that he was, and he's kind of relying on the rest of his team to pick him back up. If you look at Ted in season 1, where he was kind of white knighting everywhere, where he was protecting Rebecca from Rupert at all turns, everywhere he could. Now he's so broken and doesn't believe in himself, questioning his existence and himself, that it's a metaphor. He's gonna rise like the Phoenix by the end of the season. He is,
especially because it's the last one
rebuilt. So
this is the last season of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's he's broken and he's got to find his way again, and that's what's going to lead him to. Is they're all going to have to lead on each other to get Richmond to win it all, to win the whole fucking thing. And that's been an underlying tone.
We got Zava.
Yeah,
we get a shirt that says we
got
the
whole thing.
It'd be like oh Jesus Christ, what was Major League? And they win the whole fucking thing.
Well, you already know they're going to win the whole fucking thing because
it better.
It was foreshadowed in season 1. He says at the end of season 1, has anybody ever been relegated and come back and won the whole fucking thing? And so what happened? Season 1, they get relegated. Season 2, they're back in the Premier League. Season 3, they're going to win the whole fucking thing.
I like that.
How it's going to happen. But
it's a very uplifting show, I have to say.
I love this show, dude. I love it so much. Just because it's a workplace comedy show, but every character is built so well and seems like a real person. You look at so Bill Lawrence is one of the creators of the show, right? It's the Beard and Jason Sudeikis and Bill Lawrence created the show.
The Beard.
And Bill Lawrence is famous for, I think, Scrubs, right? Was he involved with The Office? Matt?
Name doesn't sound familiar.
I don't know.
Bill Lawrence is the creator of Scrubs, and everything I know about Bill Lawrence, his characters are kind of bigger personalities than what like it's so like if you look at JD and is it Turk? Is that his name from Scrubs?
Yep.
Those people couldn't exist. They're just so boisterous and big. Like they couldn't be real people. At least I hope not, because if they were and those people were doctors, we're fucked. But and I'm not trying to say anything disparaging about that show. I'm just trying to put the contrast difference between that show and this show. Then you go into this show where these seem, besides the actual players, like if you look at Danny and like the players are larger than life. Like some of those people don't seem like they could be real people, but your core characters that are on this picture here seem like real people, and so you're able to relate to it emotionally in a way that I haven't been able to with another show in a long time. Would you agree with that sentiment, Matt?
Yeah.
Like it's just, and they're so contrastically different from each other. You've got Roy Kent, who's this angry son of a bitch, right? He's just pissed off at the world, pissed off at his own life. He has everything, but he's so pissed off at the world and pissed off with himself that he ruins one of the bright spots that he has in his life, which is Keely.
Oh Christ, I can't stand her.
Yes,
and
but they go.
Yeah.
Yes, but Keely is pretty much the light in his life, right? And he blows it up because I think of what it's going to come down to, because it kind of metaphorically refers to it when he's saying, I just got out from Chelsea before I was kicked out. And I think that was metaphorically for the Keely situation. That whole when he was talking about Chelsea and leaving the team and everything like that. That was all metaphor for his relationship. So he basically self-sabotaged himself before he could get his heart broken. So it's foreshadowing that they're going to end up back together by the end of the season. Then you have Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, who is everybody sees as this larger than life happy individual because he has all these quotes and things that believe, or all these things that he says. He just seems like everybody, and you see it in this picture here, he just looks like the happiest guy. But what you don't realize, it's very much like Robin Williams, right? Everybody saw Robin Williams as the happiest guy on the planet. Turns out he had all these inner demons. And the only person that knows about these inner demons is his therapist that he talks to in the first episode, who all of a sudden is like sleeping with her patients, which
you don't know completely that it's a patient of hers. She's asleep. It's just some dude.
So he's very real, because I think that's a very real thing that some of the best people we know, like we look at people that we know that have committed suicide and things like that, and we're blindsided when those things happen, right? Because they seem like the happiest individuals on the planet and they commit suicide. Chester Bennington, Robin Williams, many of these people that you would never think would do it. And that's Jason Sudeikis in this situation.
Well, and you go back and watch season 1, the first episode of season 1, they talk about how he goes to this small school in football and he has this instant success and turns them around and turns them from losers into winners. And that's why he goes to England. He goes to England with everything in his hand. And as he goes over there, his life falls apart. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't understand the game. He loses his wife. His team gets relegated.
He doesn't have his kid.
Yeah. It's kind of you're watching his life fall apart, because he goes from on top of the world, optimistic, thinking that, he's got the magic touch and he can do it all, to failing. You're seeing him have to deal with failure and adversity, and how this move has given him panic attacks. He's falling apart. His marriage is falling apart. Like nothing is really going in his favor up until this point.
And then you have Rebecca. Rebecca's recently divorced. She gets this team, which is her husband's pride and joy, her ex-husband's pride and joy. And her whole reason for existence at this point is to completely burn this team to the ground, and then starts to take some pride in it, and then starts to take getting so competitive with her ex-husband to the point where she's being reckless almost, if you will. Her going into the bathroom and yelling at Zava was a reckless moment for her. And it works out, right? She had no idea that this was going to make him flip to join Richmond. Right? Then you have Beard, which is kind of Ted Lasso's support animal, if you will. Would you call Beard that? Like what Beard seems like everybody's like, if you have a best friend, like that's Beard, right? He's constantly supportive. He's constantly there to make sure that his friend Ted Lasso, his best friend, doesn't fail. He's in a shitty relationship. How many best friends do we know that are in shitty relationships?
Yeah.
Right. Max, not you now. Previous relationships Max has had.
I don't know. That's not what he was telling me after dinner. But
I've had friends that you're like Beard seems like friends that I've had in the past. And then you've got the lackey. Like, I don't know if lackey's the right word. What's Rebecca's assistant that's way in the back there named?
Leslie.
Is it Leslie?
Higgins.
You've got this guy that's just like, he is the happiest guy on the show, like truly happy, it seems like, and gets shit on all the time. We know people like that too, right?
I don't think he gets shit on all the time.
Yeah, they kind of shit on him all the time. Every time that dude says something, the only person that doesn't shit on him is Ted.
he doesn't have an office. No, he moves around all.
Yeah, he gets bumped from his office. Every time he says something,
I think he's just eager to please. That's all.
Yeah, he's an eager to please type of guy.
But when he had all those players at his house for Christmas or Thanksgiving, he was like, his kids were there, his wife, he had a good setup at his house.
Yeah,
he wasn't loyal. Well,
he's very loyal. His professional life, he's kind of seen as.
But Rebecca treats him like shit because he was a loyal person. He was loyal to Rupert. He took her out to lunch and distracted her from Rupert's infidelity. So therefore, that's why she had an issue with him in season 1, because of how loyal he was to Rupert. But
now he's showing his loyalty to her. So he's kind of. What would you say? Like, I'm trying to find a real person that equates to Nate. Like, have we ever had that person that is like ride or die friend, and then all of a sudden they just kind of leave?
Yeah, I think everybody has.
Like a soured relationship that only, and I think everything's leaning to at the end of the season that the relationship's going to be repaired in some way or form, or maybe it doesn't. If it really wants to be real, maybe it doesn't get repaired.
I think it does. I think something happens where he gets outed from West Ham and he gets pissed off, and him and Ted reconcile, and Ted brings him back into Richmond, and he helps Richmond beat West Ham. That's what I think the whole metaphor in foreshadowing is in the episode 1, when he's got the little Lego piece off to the side and his son says, "Why is Nate up there? Why isn't he on the sidelines too? But you guys can still be friends." He says, Nate's not with the team anymore. And his son says, "Yeah, but that doesn't mean you guys can't be friends, right?" And he moves Nate back down. I think that means something's going to happen. And you can already see it kind of, Nate goes back and forth. Like he makes and bashes on Ted because he thinks that's what he gets Rupert to see him. And I think Rupert is still very much playing him. Rupert is manipulating him. And something's going to happen where Nate loses a game or something, and Rupert fires him, and he comes back to Richmond to redeem himself and help Richmond beat West Ham to win the whole fucking thing.
Which, by the way, how much time has passed between second season and this one?
A couple of months.
Why did Nate's hair go from completely black to completely gray?
I don't know.
In 2 months.
Stress.
I hate Nate.
That could be it.
He's such a
but Nate is gonna be the reason they win at the end, because he is the Wonder Kid, right? Or Wonderkind, or whatever they call him. He's gonna be the reason they win. I agree with that.
That goes back to the Mando thing. Look at the writing in this show. They took a character everybody loved in the first 2 seasons, and by the end of season 2, you despise him. You want him to die. You absolutely fucking hate him. Everybody I talk to about this show is like, I can't fucking stand Nate. Like, I love Nate. And then that episode where Trent Krim finds out about Ted's breakdown, and he's like, my source was Nate. I was like, this motherfucker. Yep. I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, I would have stabbed him in the face with a fucking fork if I could.
He was one of my favorite characters at one point. Beard used to be my least favorite character. Now I'm seeing how much ride or die Beard is, and I kind of like him a little bit better. I do not want to see a spinoff show with him, though.
But look at what the effect Ted has had on everybody. Like, Roy was this cold-hearted, grumpy man, and he's starting to open up. Jamie Tart was this self-centered golden boy. Everything's about me. I'm number one. And now he's opened up. He's more.
He's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's completely.
His hairstyle's fucking stupid, though. I don't know what he's doing there.
From season,
if we had the choice to have a hairstyle, we would not. We would have that hairstyle, right?
Fuck you, JP.
I'd have any hairstyle.
No, I kind of got Keely's hairstyle going on right now.
Yeah, I'm going for that too.
Like, I am like here for the ship between Rebecca and Ted, because you can feel it coming. You can feel they're like, he slept with Sassy, yes, but like you can feel them getting closer and closer to the point where like she begs him to fight for her. And it's just the show gets so, I mean, it's taken me to a lot of, like, I've rewatched the entire season like 4 times now, or first 2 seasons like 4 times now, and I've watched each episode of the new season 4 times a piece, and like it picks something up new every time, and it's just like, I don't know.
I feel it coming.
It's some of the best writing that I've ever experienced. I feel like, because what's so remarkable about this show is that Ted Lasso was a commercial character. Like, he was created for a commercial for NBC to sell the Premier League. And to turn it into this, when they announced that, I said, that's fucking stupid. Like, that's so on the nose. That's so easy. Like, when they announced that this show was coming out, it just thought it was the dumbest idea. American football coach goes to England to coach soccer. Fucking stupid. But what they really did well is it's kind of reminds me of the early seasons of The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead was a zombie show, yes, but they didn't focus on the zombie side. They focused on the character development, which was what made that show so great. And kind of what The Last of Us was doing in this first season as well, right? The main thing that you think it's a soccer show or a football show, but that's all secondary to the character development. And that's really where great shows come to shine. Right now, I feel like there's no character development in Mandalorian.
Like, and I like the dynamic you're seeing change too. Like, we would have never seen Ted stand up to Roy the way he did in season 1 and 2 when he pulls him in the shower and says, "Hey, I don't know what your beef is with Trent Krim, but you're ruining something that's bigger than all of this, so you need to squash it."
And I have a theory about that too. He was so aggressive in that conversation with Roy that I think it was kind of like, hey man, I'm dealing with all this shit in my personal life. This should not be something that I'm dealing with right now. Too. Did you get that sense, Matt?
Yeah, but if you're Roy and you're dealing with a breakup, you got shit you got going on too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he got shit on his plate, so does Ted. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is that Roy's being stupid about that breakup. They should have never broken up. He just, like I said, was doing it before he could get his heart broke.
Well, there's that old analogy though too, as couples, that if you eventually in different stages in your relationship, one half of the couple is going to be doing better than the other, like more successful than the other. And that's kind of what this is it was the powers. Roy was always, Keely was famous, but she jokes about being famous for almost being famous. And Roy was famous because he was this great footballer. And now the paradigm shift. She's becoming this hotshot PR person and becoming more and more famous, and people are paying more and more attention to her. And Roy is falling off from being this footballer to just being a coach. So is that it's an identity shift and it's a paradigm shift. So if you don't grow together, you grow apart. So if you don't learn how to deal with success and support someone in their success, you grow apart. And that's kind of what I feel like Roy and Keely are, is that she is on the up and he's on the decline, but he's choosing to not want to let go of that and support her. He's more of a internally like falling apart because his star is dying out while hers is rising.
Well, I would say I think there's some truth to what you just said, Matt, but I would also add this to it, where he is seeing Keely's star kind of rise. But if you look at Keely when she's not around anybody else and she's actually in the office, she's not feeling as hot as she is what Roy is probably perceiving is
right.
You know what I mean? So there's also a perception base, whereas Keely may be like, oh, Roy had this big TV deal. He's doing something he loves. He's coaching now. So I think they both kind of see each other like, oh, we're being the best. That person's being the best person they can be right now. And I'm not feeling great about myself.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bring them down, but it's reciprocal, right? They're both feeling the same way about each other. And they're both dealing with their own struggles in their professional life, that the other one doesn't see.
That goes back to what you were saying about the metaphor, is that he got out of that relationship before she got too big for him.
Yeah, and Chelsea the same way.
Yeah.
And now looking back, he's like, oh, man, I wonder if I left too early. Yeah, fucker, you left Keely too early.
He'll be all right.
But I think he's going to end
Hercules.
up with...
He'll be all right.
What other woman would deal with his bullshit? The dude is so angry.
The teacher?
There are many.
Oh, the teacher was kind of into him.
Oh, yeah. She'd bag him in a second.
But she never brought her back, so I don't think... I wonder... Well, it might come back up again. He might go on a date
somebody
with her.
writes him a note in this episode. Sends him balloons and stuff and writes him a note for his birthday.
Oh, the C.
Well, who was that from? I thought that was from the players.
Lisa. I was trying to remember who Lisa was. I totally forgot about the teacher until you just said something.
I thought that was from all the players.
No, the C. There's a note that's shaped in a C.
Right, I saw that, but I didn't read who. I forgot whose name was on it.
It's like scrapbook, so it looks like it was done like at an elementary school.
Yeah,
and it says from Lisa.
And that's her. It's the elementary.
Yeah. I was trying to remember. I was like, who the fuck is Lisa?
You're gonna get some scotch out there.
I just like how many layers there are to this show. There's the sports aspect, which if you're a sports fan, you'll like it. There's the relationship aspect. So if you're somebody that's into like relationship type shows, you're gonna like it. There's the comedy aspect. So if you're someone that wants to watch something funny, there's that. There's the mental health aspect. So if you're somebody who wants to watch something deep, it has that. It's just good on so many different levels. It has something for everybody.
It's Mrs. She goes by her last name in the show.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's who it is, because if you look at how the Steve's made, it looks like it was done in an elementary school.
This is a good show.
There was something in the card says is what tipped me off.
Yeah. I need to watch it again. I watched it twice, and it was probably even better the second time because I was able to notice things that I didn't notice before. Do you know that every time you see Beard reading a book, it has some sort of Easter egg to the storyline of the show?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was talking about it on some show. They've been, so I scroll through TikTok a lot. That's how I get all these tidbits of information, but not the full picture.
Yeah, so it's Liza, Liza, and it's in the shape of a C, and it says plenty of fish in the sea. Get it? So it's like a bunch of fish on the.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's like, hey, give me a call when you're ready.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Ted and Rebecca.
It doesn't say give me a call when you're ready. It says get it.
No. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. Get it. XX. She's basically saying, call me when you're ready. I'm one of the other fish. I'm in the sea. I'm ready for you. My waters are open.
For something else?
I don't know what the sea. Oh, plenty of other fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Sea.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Liza could be the first name of Miss Bowen, the teacher of Roy's niece. Because they spend a lot of time together in season 2.
Yeah, I need to watch those first 2 seasons again. I'm gonna watch it with my wife. She hasn't given it a chance. I think she's one of those people that probably sees it as a soccer show. And it's not that. I love it. But I grew up watching it, so
I tell you what's funny is that my wife and I didn't watch the show when it came out. And we started watching like a couple weeks ago, and it was 2 seasons in, and then third season just started a week later. So the timing was perfect because we didn't have to wait for it.
Yeah, you were telling us that last week. How you finished the second season. They announced it out of the blue. Like all of a sudden there was just a commercial like, hey, guess what? March 15th, Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I was like, you can't beat that. Usually I have to wait for everything. So I was like, oh, this is perfect but now I have to wait for season 4. But no, you guys said this is the last one, right?
I know who that is now.
Who?
It's not the teacher.
Who is it?
It's remember there's a blinkety miss it moment episode 2 where Ted is walking into the club and there's that old lady outside and he says, hey Lisa, I seen your TikTok. Way to keep that ice bucket challenge alive. It's somebody who works at the club that is like.
But you said it's an old lady?
Yeah, it's an older woman.
Oh, well, that feels more.
Not very foreskin shadowing.
Foreskin shadowing.
But I don't think it's like.
That feels less like, oh man, we were making.
But it's misdirect. This show is all about misdirect as well. There's that scene in season 2 where Rebecca is talking to the mystery person on Banter, and you don't know it's Sam yet, and it goes from her like smiling and sending it into a picture of Ted walking down the hall on his phone. So you think she's talking to Ted. So it's like they do a lot of this misdirect stuff.
Yeah, but that was a deep storyline with Sam to have some older lady who's not.
But it's still a deeper storyline with Roy and Keeley because they have the episode in season 2 where Keeley spends hours with the teacher, talking to the teacher, hanging up artwork in the school, and you start kind of getting that vibe that they like each other, and then they break up. You get that hint of the breakup.
About Roy and the teacher, not Keeley and the teacher.
Sorry, Roy and the teacher. You get that hint at the end of season 2 that they're going to break up when Roy wants to go on vacation and Keeley's like, I can't go by yourself. You get that hint that their relationship is on the rocks. So they kind of put that there. And they never purposely tell you her first name. So that's what they want you to think is that like, oh, well, it's the teacher that's responsible for their breakup. And then I think you're going to find out that it's not. And that card is just a misdirect like they did before. So this is just a woman who is like fun-loving and a prankster that works for the club that's sending that Roy a card, because she keeps the ice bucket challenge alive, and she's known for doing like all this stuff that's like quirky and off the wall, and that's what the card is. Like it's quirky and off the wall because it looks like they purposely made it look like a child made it, but it's a bunch of fish in the shape of the letter C, and it says there's plenty of fish in the sea. Get it? XX. So I don't know.
We'll see.
There's just so much. Like I could go on for hours, but this show has gone on for an hour and 48 minutes longer than I wanted it to.
Yeah, we planned it to be short.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys, we cannot do an hour, less than 3 hours, or at least 2.5 for Christ's sake.
Well, we can and we will. God damn it!
Hey,
you guys start getting a timer.
Christ, it's like fucking 1:30 in the morning at Eastern time. My wife's already asleep.
Yeah,
we're talking about doing a PTI segment for the Geek.
Go
News.
wake her up, JP. Go show her that.
Well, I have ED, so there's no point in waking her up.
Did you guys see that? That they're thinking Ruby Rose committed suicide.
Who the hell's that?
Ruby Rose, the original Batwoman.
Really?
Yeah, she's like vanished. She's missing.
No, I didn't see that.
She posted something on the eve of her birthday about nothing to celebrate, and then shut off all her social media accounts.
Well, just because she.
That's why we go for 3 hours, because we bring up shit like that. Not that it's heartfelt, but we can go into why that happened. I have no idea. That's crazy.
Where are you seeing that at, Lance?
Daily Mail.
Nah, I wouldn't believe that.
Is that the same place you found the McFarlane toys were by Seth MacFarlane?
No, I never said that. I just thought it was a different McFarlane.
Oh.
I just used that. We know two different famous McFarlanes, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that this is a different McFarlane.
Oh yeah,
that's all I was trying to say. No, I did not think the Family Guy made those fucking toys.
She came. TMZ already said she came back. Ruby Rose said she wanted to do a social media blackout before her birthday, then stayed on social media anyways, causing confusion and some concern too.
Oh, so I'm only getting half the story.
Yeah, which is typical.
This thing is intentionally misleading what I'm reading.
Don't blame the article just because you didn't pay attention. But, all right.
Well, if you're not watching Ted Lasso, watch it.
Jesus Christ, right?
It's a great show. All right, Matt, close us out, buddy.
All right.
Get the outro.
Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. I now understand why nobody watches this show, because we don't know anything about what the fuck we're talking about. Especially when it comes to Star Wars. We don't know diddly dick about dick.
Yeah, we need Max on the Star Wars episodes, fucker.
I'm about to put into place that we don't fucking talk Star Wars anymore because we don't know shit about it. Stick to what we know, damn it. That's Ted Lasso, apparently, but no.
Hey, show everybody your shirt. I love that shirt. It's all the X-Men and Scott Pilgrim style.
Oh, nice.
I love that shirt.
But that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. Please make sure to check us out tomorrow night over on Saturday Night Special. Where we promise to actually have two people that know Star Wars if we talk about it. Make sure to check out the greatest episode of Absolute Game of Nerds that they've released yet, because I'm on it. So it's the best interview yet they've done. Make sure to check out their new episode. Like, I was so good they couldn't even give me an episode. They're like, look, we got to cut it back. It can only be a bonus because we just can't have too much of this greatness on our show.
Presentation.
Yeah, special presentation. We can't have too much of this greatness on our show. It might overshadow us.
It's a worldwide event.
You know, we're trying to build them up, get them started. I don't want to take all their shine right off the bat. So I was like, all right, that's fine. We'll just, you know, dim my spotlight a little bit to help brighten you. That's the kind of leader I am. That's the kind of guy I am. I will dim my spotlight to make somebody else brighter. And I have done that with JP and his ED. So until next time, I am Matt.
I am Lance.
And JP.
JP stands at attention. Well, thank you everyone in the chat, and we'll see you guys next time.
All you freaks and geeks,
come all you freaks and geeks, let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks,
Spread the cheeks.
and drink some Cosby wine.
We'll drink some Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine.